Butthole Surfers start us off today. Their big tune, named after our own producer, Pepper. Good song, but I liked it better when Cake redid it a few years later. And then did it every time. Hey, it's the Bennington Show. I'm Ron Bennington. There's Gail Bennington.
Yo.
And I am Ron Bennington. It's Olympic fever, literally. And the Olympic fever this year, Zika. But in other news here in the States, while this is happening, while everybody is paying attention to NBC, a light bloodbath takes place at SNL. The story is up on the iBank today. Who are the missing people, Gail? Who's not coming back?
Well, first the news broke that Taran Killam.
Surprising. Very surprising. Now, I know he shot a movie this year with Arnold Schwarzenegger, and I'm wondering if, they figure, he's going to be editing. His head won't be completely in the game. Yeah,
it seems like it wasn't a mutual thing. It was like he kind of put out that he wanted to be doing other things.
No, they didn't pick up his contract. Yeah. It was the last year of his contract. He thought he'd be back. No.
The second would be Jay Pharoah.
Jay Pharoah should have been a gigantic star off that show.
Yeah, I mean, considering his impressions, he had some really solid ones over the last couple years, especially during the election.
Impressions that nobody else was going to do.
Yeah, but the Ben Carson was so funny.
Ben Carson was huge. Jay-Z, Kanye, and the best Denzel, and maybe the first Denzel in history. But he never did something like the Denzel show that makes it easy to stick in people's heads. You know what I mean?
That one really surprised me. I mean, Taran surprised me because he did kind of feel like he was in a bit of a starring role for a while there. Yeah. And heavily featured in most sketches. And then the last one is sweet John Rudnitsky,
who really never got a chance.
He didn't get enough of a shot there, I don't think.
He's like, if you're watching a Vietnam movie, the sweet kid who comes up and just when he figures out, where to fill his canteen, he takes a bullet in the head.
And then he gets cradled, like one of his buddies is crying, looking into his eyes. He's like the sweet boy.
Is this the end of it? That's the big question. The only people I know that they've officially renewed is their Weekend Update team.
Yes, that continues, which I know there were talks in the beginning when that team formed. Is that going to be a long-term situation? They weren't sure. Are they finding their footing? I think that they have, progressed in the last season. So it looks like they're happy with the way that's going. But that was the talk for a while, is they thought that was at least going to be shifted.
Look. In my opinion, and I'm going to give it because I've produced that show for 40 years, so I know what I'm doing. Really? I would let Che do Che jokes rather than SNL jokes. The fact that they're still doing it in the same pattern that goes back to Tina Fey, at least.
Right. Where he's pretending or trying to deliver them like a news anchor.
Yeah, and I think he should just be there, Che, doing commentary. Because I think he's absolutely hysterical. And the people out there who don't like Che are like, well, he's not enough like all the other guys. You know what I mean? But let him be different. I'm going to talk to the people at the very top of SNL and NBC
and get things figured out. It is a bloodbath.
It's a minor bloodbath. If we add one or two more, then I think we can call it a major bloodbath. But this is bloodletting.
But we're not even sure. Is it over?
Hasn't there been one guy that's been on the show for 18 years though?
Yeah. Who's been on for 18?
No, something like 11 years or something.
Keenan?
Yeah, why? You know what I mean? Good. You had a nice long run, Keenan, but
Keenan's comfortable where he is.
He wants to stay.
Weird. It's strange that he doesn't leave. He's starting to look like he's dating girls that are too young for him.
I get older, they stay the same age. He lost those new cast members.
Was that a Dustin Hoffman impression?
No.
Too bad, because you nailed it. No, you did a good impression there. Uh-oh. Somebody it looks like, grabbed the ball and took it into the middle of a swimming competition.
How is this possible?
That is disqualification.
They are trying to play football in the water. Can't be done.
You know, no one in diving ever does the throw the Nerf ball and I'll dive and catch it, which I feel like I invented that move, and then I found out everybody did. And
try to spike it like on your way down, too.
Yeah, and then the Wile E. Coyote move that I do, that I'm just running off the board, look down, and then look up again like I can't believe I ran out of board. I feel like that would get me 8.0.
There should be a funny dives competition.
But the other move, if you're going to be diving, you got to dive into inner tubes. That's the exciting move. You throw an inner tube somewhere out there, and then you dive into it. Looks like it's too far away. You don't care. Why not just do diving off the roof?
Last night when I was watching the diving competition, I was seeing how, like, you know how they have that little like water that's spouting into the pool?
Yeah.
So it's like a little mini waterfall. And I'm looking at it and I'm like, I wonder why they have that. And then I sat there and I was like, I bet it has to do with the surface of the water being more fluid, easier to break, so you're less likely to hurt yourself on the way down. And I'm like, did I make that up? Well, did I actually learn that at some point? The surface tension of the water?
I'm sitting here stunned because I didn't even know that would work.
I would, like, as I was
thought
looking
the
at
pool
it,
wasn't full enough.
I thought that what's happening is that you're creating a slight ripple, making it maybe a little bit more fluid, less aggressive once you hit the water.
It seems as good as idea as any.
Yeah. I kind of impressed myself, but then I was like, that might not be it.
Look how far these girls, water polo players, wear their bathing suits up their butt cracks.
They got it right up there.
Yeah.
That gap.
Either that or you're wearing it backwards.
Done it the wrong way. And then they turn around with those sexy mouth guards. It's a good look.
The helmets are the best.
They're not helmets.
They look like old school football helmets.
Yeah.
That's what they
I guess
should wear.
it does protect your head out there and your ears. There's so much. I like when they show the underwater cam doing this because there's so much fighting that takes place
Just
underwater.
like little kicks.
A lot of kicking and pinching and scratching. Steve, Tampa.
Well, regarding water polo, I was a champion, but my horse drowned. Sorry for that old joke. But Saturday Night
David
Live,
Lee Roth just laughed somewhere.
Yes, and that's where I stole it from after he stole it. Thank you. Is it just me getting older, or sometimes I look at Saturday Night Live and it's just not funny?
It's you getting older.
Okay.
It really is that thing of people thinking that things were better years ago, because the show is, and I tried to bring this up during the last Unmasked, and they didn't get my gimmick on it, but it's less fun in terms of you never hear about anybody being a drug addict or big parties. These are just professional people working really hard, which is great, but it's not as good as a Belushi story, a
Right.
Chris Farley story, and anybody else who might have died really young at age 33.
But the cast, it changes. Like, you have good seasons, you have bad seasons. I would not say, oh, it's not funny and it hasn't been funny in years. I don't feel that way at all.
People have always said that since the beginning. Like, since Chevy left, which is after year one, this show used to be better. For 39 years, people say it used to be better. But when I watch professional football, I just think, oh, this used to be better. You know, whatever I'm looking at the time. If someone said, who is a better baseball player, the guy's playing now or the guy, I would always go backwards. Right. I think it's a human instinct. You know, Chris, you were bringing up that you thought that A-Rod was going to go to Florida, and either one of the two Florida teams.
Yeah.
A lot of people are picking that up now, and I feel like you had it first.
Thank you.
But it hasn't happened, though.
You don't have to say it in such a sassy way.
I put it out into the zeitgeist, and now I think it's getting into people's heads. When he goes to the Marlins, I'm going to look like a goddamn genius.
They're saying Tampa Bay instead of the Marlins, though, which was veto.
That was me.
Yeah, because of the reason. But I honestly don't see the purpose of it. It's almost like a guy who owns a fucking used car lot just has a lion in a cage there. You know what I mean? Like, you're not sending him there to play baseball. You're sending them there. Oh, he'll hit his 700th home run with us or whatever. It's just fucking stupid.
They want to use him as a freak show. Now, if I were A-Rod, I'd just enjoy my hundreds of millions of dollars. But I'm not A-Rod. he's going to go out there. He's going to want to get back into the game.
Why aren't you enjoying your tens of dollars?
I do until they run out. It's pretty quick around here.
Johnny in Georgia.
How's it going?
Hey, man.
Yeah. With all the diving going on now, I would suggest you look up on YouTube the Philippines diving team. They had 2 guys compete to try to get in the Olympics, and both of them scored absolute zeros.
Well, you know what? You got to do a little better than that if you want to be one of the best in the world. You got to be at least the best in your neighborhood.
Right. You can't have no points.
The diving seems to be gay friendly. A lot of the gays are into divers.
Yeah. Well, it's a good look. Like the body type is very appealing. Like, for example, swimmers, incredible athletes, but because of the bulk, like those muscles around the neck, it's more like something you could appreciate from a distance and be like, okay, that's cool. But divers have really phenomenal bodies, both the men and women.
And the diving, particularly when they dive together, it's a pageant.
Yes. It's
very pageant.
There's pageantry to it.
And they're natural twinks to divers.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Why come across as homophobic?
I'm not homophobic.
Not necessary.
Well, why would you call people twinks?
And natural twinks.
I was talking about the audience. The audience, it seems to be a sport that gays enjoy, where now you feel the need to out divers.
I'm not outing anyone.
You just did when you said they're natural twinks.
And our team, the U.S. team, which I'm forgetting, one of them is Steele Johnson. But the other one is very foxy. I can't think of his name, but Steele Johnson's partner.
Yeah.
I mean, it's very hard to remember a name other than Steele Johnson. That's all I could focus on.
He's the tall one, right?
No, that's the other one, not Steele Johnson.
Now, he got up and they were just thanking the hell out of God. He's God
a religious fella.
Yeah.
David Bedaya.
Bediva is what I would call him.
More like Bediva.
Chris, Texas.
Curtis, actually. But I always thought that water was shooting out because if you're on the board way up high, whatever that one is, 10 stories up, whatever the heck that thing is.
1 story.
And you're looking down, you're not going to be able to see where the water starts. So
you won't even know if the pool is filled.
Interesting.
Right, exactly. So you're getting a reference with that water moving.
What about the surface tension that I brought up?
Wouldn't that would mean no one would die jumping off a bridge because you got waves with wind and whatnot.
Yeah, I just thought like general comfortability, but the
perception does make sense.
That makes a lot of sense.
I will say this: I've never once even noticed it. I had no idea that they did it.
Yeah, there's like a little sprinkler shooting into the pool.
I just wish once somebody would dive and there would already be someone down there like swimming around.
Watch out! Just doing laps, like practice laps.
This shouldn't count against me.
Just like old lady in the swim cap you see at the public pool.
The belly flop doesn't get done at all in the Olympics, and not even a good old fashioned can opener where you grab one knee and hold it up.
Oh yeah, that is the can opener.
The old can opener.
Can opener. Jackknife.
Jackknife. And then what is it when you hold up, cannonball.
Yeah.
When you hold both legs up, you cannonball. They don't seem to be impressed with any of the backyard diving.
What about just people's elbow? Like
just coming down with an elbow? First of all, that would be fucking great, particularly on a pool toy. You just drop down and take out a giraffe with your elbow. Maybe we do need some kind of alternate Olympics. Like we said the other day.
A special Olympics, if you will.
See what you did there? Now, if you did the fencing with Arab swords, people would fucking show up.
Right.
Or instead of fencing, it's axing. Just 2 guys with axes, just fucking swinging.
Medieval, massive axes.
Right.
Yeah, that would be pretty cool.
And a lot of the track and field events would go better in cosplay, where you're just dressed up as your favorite. Like a javelin would try to hit some little Pokemon.
Right.
Which, can I check on this? Is the Pokemon craze over?
It seems like it's quieter, but it seems like less of a discussion in culture.
Mm-hmm.
Yet, I think that they've just hit some mark that was insane that put them
over
at the
3,000 people are playing it right now.
Really? That's a lot.
Not at the same time. They even say a lot of people who sign up don't play it, like Twitter.
I think that it's either that they were number one or they made more money than something. I don't know.
That seems like number one. If you make more money, seems like you're number one.
I did see a woman on a train today with a fresh Pokemon tattoo, though, so I think it might still be going strong.
Because you saw one woman on a train.
What Pokemon did she have?
I don't know. I took a picture of her like a creep. It's a blue. It's a blue thing. I don't know what it is.
You're horrific.
That doesn't even look like a Pokemon.
Did she know you were taking?
No, she did not.
I'm not sure that is. It looks like a blue Eevee.
I think it's an Eevee.
But why is it blue?
I don't know. It's a bad tattoo.
It's probably a Digimon.
What the fuck is that?
Knockoff Pokemon?
Jordan in Virginia. You're on Bennington.
Yeah. How's it going today, guys?
So good.
So great.
Yeah, I had to confirm it with her. You are 100% correct. It's to break water tension.
Boom! Gail was correct.
Oh, you think so?
Even if you're lying, Jordan, you're going into the pretty good prize closet. Congratulations, buddy.
It's a pretty good prize. It's a pretty good prize closet. We have good prizes. It's a pretty good prize. It's a pretty good prize closet. With pretty good prizes. Hey, man. So because you helped Gail out on this, I'm going to send you Heat, signed by Tom Sizemore. Because...
What?
The water will cool you down.
What did he send?
Heat.
Oh, Heat. Okay. Heat. I thought he said Keith.
Keith.
Hang on. What is Keith? I got an idea here. What if Coach re-records that in a Coach voice?
We could do that.
I think that's her hidden talent. I think she's probably one of the 10 best singers in pop music today.
Wow. She looks like she could be a pop star.
And see if she can sing it in Portuguese. Wait, what do the Argentinians speak? Is it Portuguese?
I think it's Spanish.
Spanish?
Yeah.
Brazilians speak Portuguese.
Yeah.
Is there a difference between Argentina or Brazil? Is it the same fucking place?
She says she speaks Portuguese.
Thank you.
Well, I guess I'm an idiot.
Yes, Chris. You don't even have to guess. This place is still a buzz because Doug Loves Movies was played here live today with a full audience. And I need to get to the bottom of this. Did he play Ron Bennington's Mr. Mojo Rising, the game that I invented for Doug?
That's a great game. I hope that...
I know he's played it a couple times on his show.
Yeah, he's played it like 2 or 3 times, I think.
3, at least. Now, I would rather come up with an idea for someone else than for us. I don't know what it is about me, but I also love to have things named after me. A racing dog, a cupcake, and now a segment on Doug Loves Movies. But I would like to know, did they play it? I wanted to get up and listen to it today. I heard Justin Long was on it, which is fucking fantastic. First of all, that kid is so funny and does some incredible impressions. But my doctor has recommended that I sleep as late as possible.
Is everything all right? Or
yes, he wants me to sleep 10 minutes before the show starts. Or I could die, he said.
My God, well, by all means.
Or at least a heart transplant. I saw that story that you sent in, Gail, about the girl, I'll just say the bridezilla, who walked down the aisle with the guy who had her dad's heart.
Yes.
In her chest.
So her father had passed away years before.
You know why?
Murder.
They took his heart out of his chest. They said he was just sitting in the front row going, help, I don't have a heart now.
And then someone just Indiana Jones
is that like Niagara Falls, Frankie Angel to you? Or is it creepy?
It was, I think a little bit of both. Like it was a little sweet. There was a moment that really got me. At first I was like, this was kind of surreal. So she asks this guy who has the heart transplant of her father to walk her down the aisle. But then they show her speaking to him for the first time. And he puts her hand on his pulse. And then she starts to tear up and then she like touches his chest. And that made me then Niagara Falls, Frankie.
I kind of feel like it's showboating a little bit.
This is Creep Central.
Like bragging that your dad's a hero, you mean?
Yeah. Like when Bruce Willis, they put his picture up at the end of Armageddon, which I plan on doing with you, even if I'm still alive.
Just just a big centerpiece of
Yes, and I'll be at home watching college football. I don't think these things should be on Saturdays.
Will you Skype in at least?
What's that?
Will you Skype in at least?
I don't like to Skype because I don't know what's on the cloud.
Everything.
Ba-da-da-da.
I thought it was kind of sweet and a little weird, both.
That was really creepy. I was creeped out by it.
I don't watch it. I just saw it. And I'm like, I don't know. I know that you sent some thing in yesterday, Chris, about organ donors.
Yeah, there's a new PSA being passed around on the internet of about to promote organ donating, saying that even if you're an asshole, you should still donate organs. And people love the commercial. They can't.
I kind of like that. You know?
It's like a 3-minute PSA, and it just shows a guy just being a total piece of shit. But then when he dies, turns out he was an organ donor, and he saved a bunch of people's lives.
So he's a hero.
Yeah, he turns out to be.
He's
a
like
hero.
a little Scrooge. In the end, he redeems himself.
Do you think that that's the type of thing that would redeem you in the afterlife?
I think so. Yeah.
Okay.
That and being nice to animals.
Yeah. I'm nice to steaks. I went out for steak and lobster last night because I was so disappointed in Chris.
I thought about that the whole night. I was like, I could have had just the thought of eating steak and lobster at 2 p.m. was so exciting to me.
It's decadent. It
felt so decadent and exciting.
Ryan did write in that that Vito absolutely said Keith.
Really?
That's false. I definitely said Heat.
Sounded like Keith to me. Why would two of us hear it as Keith?
You said Keith, Vito. Just admit it.
And now you have to send him Keith,
Chris is
too.
just mad.
I'm always mad about something, but
Chris
you just said Keith.
Chris just wants somebody else to sound ridiculous.
Chris, are you an organ donor?
No, but after this PSA, yeah, why not? I don't know who wants them. They can have them.
People in need.
I was an organ donor, and it was a church organ, and I donated to a classic rock band, cover band. I still feel like that's just as good, and I am an asshole.
Close. Yeah, and now
I actually consider myself an asshole. Certainly more than I consider myself
you're
a prick.
But don't you feel like you're just like a complex character with dark and light to your personality?
Yeah, but the light is so small. You know what I mean? The light normally...
But we're hanging on to it.
But I don't really trust people who think of themselves as good people. Whenever I'm in business, the guy goes like, hey, I'm a good guy. I'm like, oh, what a horrible, stupid thing.
That actually creeps me out, along with another phrase that I have a friend who says this phrase a lot is, I deserve. And it's never come out of my mouth. I've never thought of it before. And she can think of it in extreme ways or small ways. She will say I deserve to get that job because blah, blah, blah. But she'll also be like, I deserve to have a fun night out and have a good meal and just be happy tonight. And I deserve that. And I'm like, I've never thought that. I deserve a penny today. That's what I deserve. I'm a good person. I walk through life. I do good. Why? Why do you think that?
First of all, let me ask you this. Why would you hang out with her?
You know how the thing happens. Do you know how the thing happens when you've been friends with somebody since you were a teenager, and then now at this point they're more like your cousin than your friend.
Yeah.
You're like, well, we're kind of related more than anything.
That's horrific. You had a couple good years. Let it go.
Cut her off.
Scrape them off, Claire.
Doesn't happen.
Yep.
Thanks. I've got an ear. That's what I'm most proud of. I had to donate this ear to somebody, Someone petite, of course. I could probably give my ears to a girl. Go ahead and take them. They're so dainty and sweet.
I have very dainty ears.
Yeah. That's what you got from me. And
I actually think I can't hear. I
haven't been able to hear anything since the 70s.
Anything.
No. Last thing I heard was a Metallica show, and then it just went completely out on me. And I wish that wasn't true.
But I have the hearing of an elderly woman. And when I'm in a restaurant, I have to, I have to cup my ear to hear And it's a very old lady look, but I can't.
Penn Jillette gave us the term the other day, rock and roll ears, and I'm going to be stealing that from him.
Yeah.
And acting like it's mine. And I'll just go, me and Teller both have pet of rock and roll ears. What is the mask we're playing this week, Chris?
That is with the cast of Don't Think Twice, Mike Birbiglia's new film. It's Mike Birbiglia, Chris Gethard, Gillian Jacobs, and Kate Micucci.
It's an R-rated film because there's some weed smoking that takes place. So rated R.
No one is killed or...
God forbid you should take a child in there and they see people smoke weed. Don't look, honey, the smoking weed. Jay wants to give me an update on Doug Loves Movies.
What's up, Ronnie B?
Yeah.
Doug Loves Movies definitely did play Adjusted for Inflation, and it was absolutely hilarious.
I am ecstatic about this.
It's a very popular game.
I hope so.
They actually did Justin Long, who was sitting there, and he didn't know any of his own shit.
This is something fucking Doug does that's so funny, and he brings up like the slug line for movies, and it's normally some fucking star who's sitting there,
right? Someone who's in the room.
That's fucking hilarious.
Who usually doesn't know their own.
Jay?
Yes, sir.
Pretty good prize closet, my friend.
Whoa! Yeah. It's a pretty good prize. It's a pretty good prize. Prize closet. We have good prizes. It's a pretty good prize. It's a pretty good prize. Prize closet. We're pretty good prizes. Hey man, I really wish you didn't hang up, but you won People vs. Larry Flint, signed by Crispin Glover.
Ooh.
Who is Keith Glover?
I did not say Keith Glover.
You said Keith Glover, dude.
I said Crispin.
No, you did say Keith.
I don't know what's wrong with your head today. I don't know why Keith is on your mind.
Well, Keith is on all of our minds today.
Yeah, who is
Keith is his lover. It's a pretty good prize. Tommy Jonigan tweeted to us confirming that he heard Keith as well.
Oh my God.
Tommy Jonigan,
I wasn't
giant comedy star.
Are you calling Jonigan a liar? Because he's not.
He's dead to me now.
First of all, I don't mind you attacking the listeners. You cannot attack the comedy stars.
He drew first blood.
Yes,
said
so
Keith.
just bleed out, Keith. Bleed the fuck out. No one likes mean Vito.
No.
We're always trying to pull him back from that.
I like sweet baby boy Vito.
Everybody's just coming at me right now.
Everyone's coming on you.
Young Chris is so right about you. You're a fucking jerk off.
Piece of garbage.
Hey, Marcus, Indianapolis.
Yeah, I was wondering if Chris could explain to me what organ zoning is.
Come on.
What a dick.
No.
Pretty good prize closet.
It's a pretty good
That's
prize.
enough. Seriously, that's enough. I can't hear that song again. Just give it
Give
out.
him private
Just give him
prize.
out something.
Something Keith related as
Give
usual.
Keith a prize.
Give Keith Richards something. Go ahead. Give out a prize.
I was just about to look up a prize after we gave out the last
Oh, well,
one.
you take it. What? Is that the end of the prize closet? The last two things laying in the
Forget it. If
bottom?
everyone's going to say it's Keith, then forget it.
I'll tell you what you need to get, Chris. You only got a couple weeks.
Yeah.
That big prize that goes out for the football contest.
For Highlander.
Yeah.
It's year 3. Yes, I'm working on getting a prize. Do not worry. I'm on it.
Is there something that you think you got?
No, but I'm working on getting a prize.
I don't want to get something from the failed kicker of the New York Football Giants.
We're going to get a crazy dope prize. Do not worry. I will secure a prize for Highlander.
You know when I
It's gonna
worry?
be dope.
When Dope says, do not worry.
He said it's going to be dead dope.
You're still sitting there staring? You don't have a prize? Oh my God.
He only prepares 2 prizes a day.
Is that it?
What happened to the prize closet overnight? It was fucking full
This
yesterday.
fucking guy's taking shit home because he's a collector.
Scumbag.
You prick.
No, I just had to pull up the list. I'm sorry.
You're still looking.
I want to give him a good prize.
Most of our prizes are shit, then I take it.
No.
Do.
All right, I got a good one.
What is it?
He's getting Julie and Julia signed by Stanley Tucci.
Yeah. Took that long to find a Stanley Tucci prize. So people are saying you said organ donating.
You know what I meant, people.
No.
What did you mean?
Donating those organs.
Donating them.
Donating them?
Donating them organs.
Them.
He said them. Donating them organs.
Them organs.
Want to help people, you know?
I don't know what kind of urban hillbilly accent you have rocking.
Donating them organs.
People be donating them organs. Dem organs.
Dem.
How do you fucking not kill yourself?
Don't know.
A lot of people are here right again. They heard Keith. And then Keith Welch says, as a Keith, I'm honored by Vito's obsession with me.
Don't be.
See, this is the amazing thing I think about Keith Richards. Keith is not really thought of as a cool name. And yet Keith Richards seems like an amazingly cool name to me.
In fact, you could probably be okay with being Keith because of Keith Richards. Like you're like, well, there's Keith Richards. Yeah, there's plenty of great Keiths.
But even his name, he pronounces it as Keith.
Keith.
Keef. Keith. Me make a writing. Keith. Out there somewhere right now, man.
What's he doing?
Probably laying down a badass track.
It's so cool.
Yeah, he still smokes. I think he still drinks. He drinks and smokes, which means that's only two things left. You know, and he drinks blood.
Oh, cool.
It's good for him, though.
They say it's good, yeah. Especially when you had none of your own. You must be really thirsty for it. Kaif. It's the Bennington Show, 1 week out from doing Comedy 101, which I think is going to be fabulous. Chris had some very big news, kept it from us, even though we're only 1 week out.
Some early morning news.
You gotta stop that, man. You gotta say, I'm part of a team.
I am part of a team.
Are you?
Yes.
Is it fucking ISIS? Because it doesn't seem like it's the Bennington Show.
That's not the team we're on.
I'm not in with ISIS, I swear to God. My Christian God, by the way.
Easy. You don't even have a Christian God, dude. You don't even know how to pray. If God does anything to you, he's going to rip out your heart for them organ donors.
Get them organs out there. Donate them all over the
People
place.
need them.
Keith, Trenton.
Yeah, I heard that Vito's asking about me.
Yeah, it seems like Vito has a hard-on for the Keiths to the world.
He's got old Keith on the brain.
Who's your favorite Keith?
Hernandez.
Really?
It's my favorite Keith.
The fucking porn mustache son of a bitch.
Love Keith Hernandez. SNY commentator. Get to hear him every day during the baseball season.
When he's awake, fucking sleeps during the games a little bit.
He likes a nap.
I mean, who would even be the second best Keith other than Keith Richards?
Well, first of all, Keith Richards is the number one Keith.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Who's second best to Keith Richards?
I would say the guy that used to be Uncle Bill in Family Affair is a Keith. And that's going way back for everybody.
Third, Keith Urban.
Keith Urban Country, the fucking Chris Stanley story. He's got the worst of the city, the worst of the country.
Keith Moon's going to be up there.
Oh, Keith Moon moves way up. He's number 2.
Keith David? That's an actor, right?
Baseball your favorite sport?
Yeah, I'm a big baseball guy over everything else.
Okay, then let's play a little lifeboat with you. Only 3 people, right? Only 3 things. You got to get rid of 2 of these things out of your life. Wrestling, baseball, or Big Brother.
Forever?
No, I meant for 5 fucking minutes. Why do people do that when you try to play a game? Could have keep 2 of them.
Fuck.
What about 1 per season?
I guess. Fuck.
This is great radio.
I'm gonna give up Big Brother.
No.
And wrestling.
Wow.
Oh my God.
You have to do that for real too, dude.
It's over.
That's the fucking game forever.
So sad. He's so for real.
You can just change his reality by yelling. Forever, dude. You can't watch anything else.
If I catch you watching those feeds up there, I'm gonna freak the fuck out.
You guys watch the feeds in the office?
I heard a rumor that Zakiya and Paul made love in a bumper car, so I had to check it out.
No one makes love in a bumper car. That's never been said in the history of the
We are
planet
making love together in this
Feel
tiny.
like making. That's a good swing the guitar song. I feel like making. Gail, you had something that you said you wanted to present to the team, and it was food related. And
Yes.
I remember what I said to you. Shh.
You
Keep it for the air.
You just hush.
You just hush, darling.
So this is what happened. There was a guy who has said he has created the ultimate driving food.
So food that can drive.
Food
What?
that is meant
Huh?
food that was meant to have been good for driving. So you are driving the car.
Oh, humans driving your car.
You human,
this
human drive the car.
It's funny you bring this up because there was some state that once has a bill done that you would not drink coffee while driving. They want to get rid of that. They say it's the same as texting. This is what happens when everyone starts to blame the texters.
Yeah.
Now fucking people who are drinking coffee.
Now you're in trouble.
Yeah. And I say this, fuck you guys. You should have stuck up for the smokers. So everyone goes down now.
Now, would you rather say to me what you think your personal ultimate driving food is, the best food to consume if you have to be on the go, or would you like to hear this person's solution?
No, I want us to go first. Chris?
Chicken nuggets.
Chicken nuggets. Now, why? Because you're holding the bag and then reaching into the bag.
I say you take it out where it's like the like cardboard container. You pop a chicken nugget in your mouth. You do that as much as you want.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. You're reaching around into a bag, into a container. Not normally a good thing. Vito, do you have driving while you're eating? What would the perfect food be?
I'm going to go burger because it's one hand. You get a lot of flavor in there.
You got a problem here, though. You ever have a burger without fries? No. The answer is no. Burger's part of a meal. I've got the perfect food. I've done it for years. Chinese food. I have the carton. And I have the chopsticks.
You wedge the carton right between your lap.
And I just rush it in like a Chinaman.
Preferably lo mein.
It is funny. Well, first of all, in the history of the world, has anyone had a slice of pizza while driving? I mean, there's just...
That's not an easy one.
It's not one to do. Ice cream cone is the best food. Now, you got to stay on it, and I recommend windows up, air conditioning on, but people can get involved with this if they like to. Now, this person has invented something new.
Yes, this is a new invention, his answer to it.
All right.
Now, I'm going to tell you my personal one.
All right, before we do that, it's 844-ROCK-GOD, 844-ROCK-GOD. What food are you most likely to be eating when you drive? Now, some people are crazy if anyone eats in a car.
Right.
You know what I mean?
They
act like it's the most sacred of all places. And they say, I smelled that burger for 7 days after you were in the car with me. But we're drunk. We're driving drunk.
Yeah.
We got to get some protein in us.
Perhaps even a road trip.
Yeah. Because you want to make better time.
Yes.
By not sitting down. All right. So let's hear your perfect food.
Okay. My perfect driving food, which obviously to me has to be a fast food because it has to be on the go. It has to be easy. The Chick-fil-A chicken sandwich. Why? Because of no condiments.
Oh.
So a burger, sure, great.
Sloppy.
You can eat, but everything's dropping. This is just fried chicken, a couple of pickles, not overly greasy, It's the perfect fast food driving food.
And to go back against Vito again, La Big Mac tends to disintegrate during the final bites.
And I will also say that the fries at Chick-fil-A, subpar. You're not even going to be tempted to order some. You're going to be happy just with the sandwich on its own.
There's no mayo on that sandwich.
There's no mayo on the classic Chick-fil-A chicken sandwich. It is fried chicken and a couple of pickles, I believe 3 to be exact. And that is it.
J-Frog said that they did the Bennington game, but I don't think it was Mojo Rising. That is the name of the game that I gave him. It's the top 3 movies at the box office. Let's go over here to Chris, Columbia.
What's up, guys?
Hey, man.
So, I work in EMS. I drive and eat all day long.
All right.
Burrito's where it's at.
I don't see a burrito. It's way too sloppy.
I find that difficult just to eat at the dinner table.
Yeah, not that driving isn't real life.
Burrito culture has become so that they want to just make burritos as big as possible. So it's impossible to eat in a car while you're driving. It's so fucking messy.
Also, I do a trick with a burrito where I take it on its side like this, wedge it down on the table, and you can actually eat it. It's a little bit suggestive, but it's the best way to eat it because then you're not spilling.
Take a picture doing that. They'll Photoshop it. Dick, Canada.
It's got to be peppered beef jerky. You can't have carbs.
Now, here's the thing about beef jerky. Is it legally a food?
It's some sort of an edible leather, sure, but a meal, it is not, my friend.
Joe, Strong Island.
Tang in powder form. If it's good enough for the space capsule, it's good enough for me.
All right. First of all, wonderful joke doing Tang. I would have sent you into the pretty good prize closet, but Vito's struggling as it is. He's not prepared for anything more than 2 a day. I don't think any of you guys have ever had Tang, have you?
Never had it. I've only heard about it.
I had it when I was very young. I believe my neighbors drank Tang.
Really?
And so
Tang is like if someone crushed up children's aspirins and put it in water. Oh. That is Tang. Now, the astronauts needed that because, unlike the astronauts of your generation, the astronauts of my generation went to the fucking moon. Your guys go about 9 miles up in the air. That's it.
We got the space station.
Oh, really? That's ours? Good news, America. You built a space station. Chris knows all about it. Or do you consider yourself to be a goddamn Russian?
It's international.
Curtis.
Hey, Ronnie. Thanks.
Yeah.
Appreciate it. Hey, just with respect to Gail, just one up, but the Chick-fil-A chicken nuggets.
Ugh.
Yeah, but I still think you're going to be reaching into the bag.
Can they call themselves chicken nuggets there?
Yeah, as long as you don't have the McNugget, I think the regular just nugget is fine. Now, I just want to say my cousin just texted me because she is on a little road trip herself, and she just said that she just watched a bunch of people come out of a Cumberland Farms with a pizza that they were going to be eating in the car. So people do it. Is it ideal?
Disgusting.
No. That's weird. And also, Cumberland Farms pizza. What is that even?
Which cousin?
Seth.
Oh, hi, Seffy.
Hi, Sass.
Hi, sassy girl. I was actually thinking of Seffy because I thought she was going to be Olympian.
I know. I was texting her last night because I was watching beach volleyball.
Where's her road trip to?
She went back to where she goes to school. So she was across the state.
Oh.
And she's checking out a new
school already?
Not quite, but she's got a new house that her and her friends are renting.
Party house?
Party house off campus. So she's pretty psyched.
Sounds like we're going to be making a goddamn Florida run this year. Because one thing about us, when we party hardy.
You're about to beat Frank the Tank, my friend.
Tastes so good. You know when it gets in your mouth like that.
Your cousin who's a decade older. What's up, bitches?
I remember when I dropped you off at school and you met your new roommates in your apartment that I kept saying to all the moms, this is going to be a party house. And they're like, absolutely not. I go, this is going to be a 24-hour-a-day party house. I just met them. I don't know about your kids, but I don't even see my kids showing up at that school. Man, I can't believe people are going back to school now, though.
I know.
Man, a Florida party house?
No, the place is cute. Remind me, I'll show you pictures of it.
I'm right here, right now. You can show me right now. I am reminding you. Ask if she can get me on that text, too. I'd like to know everything you guys are talking about.
Okay.
Jump on the group text.
I had a very weird thing with our group text that we've been doing. That I have it down as Dr. Steve and it's Hard Rock Johnny.
What?
Yeah. And I'm like, why is Dr. Steve bringing up Bush? Hey, somebody who wishes not to no longer be a public person also heard Keith.
You said Keith. Just admit to it.
Just admit to it, dude.
Just say it.
I'm standing by what I said.
Dude, you can't be that guy. You know what I mean? You got to be a stand-up guy.
You got to be a Keith guy.
Did you say Keith or not?
You want heat?
You got to say it if you're saying it. I mean, everybody's heard you say it.
Heat.
Just admit to it, and then we can move on.
Just admit to it. At
we
this
heard
point.
you. Tommy Johnigan heard you. Non-public figures.
I wasn't sure, but then when Tommy Johnigan said it,
that just reinforced it for me.
Fucking love Johnigan. He's never lied.
Just admit it, dude, and then we can move on.
No, I said heat. I know the movie
dude,
Heat.
you got to fucking say it so we can move on. Just say it.
Say it.
Wow, that's a great place. You know what I like? No rugs on the floor, too.
Nice hardwood.
Nice.
Is that her friend right there?
That's her kitchen. Then her little dining room. Then look at it. Nice porch. Big bedroom. Tons of closet space.
I feel like moving there.
I know. Big backyard, too.
Dude,
party house.
Yeah, we got to go back to Florida. What the hell are we doing up here? You know, what was that crazy thought about? Did you say so we can move on with the show? Just say it quickly, please.
Just so we can move on.
You guys can move on without me saying it.
Come on.
Say it.
Some people heard me say Keith.
All right, seriously, you're fucking being really frustrating right now. Just say it so we can move on.
I said Keith.
You're getting written up for that, then.
Welcome
That's going on your permanent
welcome to HR hell, motherfucker.
You fucked up by admitting to that.
Yeah.
What's that, an
Never
HR
talk-
issue?
Yes,
Yeah,
it is.
it's a fucking
Because
HR.
Keith is code word for bungfuck.
Exactly. And they're going to know
said
about
that
it.
to one of the listeners?
Yes,
Did you say the signed bungfuck?
I don't know if you people in HR are used to the word Keith, but it's very bad.
Get ready. Bungfuck.
Chris, lean over and show your asshole so they know what we're doing. And then the penis would go right in there.
Look.
This is exactly what he was implying by saying Keith.
Don't ever talk without having a lawyer present, dude. Aren't you watching that HBO show that everybody's watching about the Pakistani kid?
No, I wait to tune into HBO till 10.
What? It's going on for 6 fucking weeks now.
Come on, man. This is just like the Keith thing all over again.
Hi, you're on the Bennington show.
Hey, how you doing? It's Melania Trump calling from Florida with a whole gallon of poontang.
Jesus Christ. It's BL being stupid.
A big old Boston market right between my thighs, bitches. Quarter dark meat. I can eat it right between the steering wheel.
I've heard rumors about you in the dark meat.
I have never dark meated it. Not that that's a bad thing.
But you're coming across like a racist right now.
I wouldn't admit that.
Hi, Bangtons. What you doing?
It's a radio show, really.
Yes, we're doing a show that was going great up to a moment ago, BL.
Brakes on, bitches. Melania Trump.
Stop saying Melania Trump. All right.
We have one son, Ben. Ben is our son.
First of all, she hears something in the news and then she repeats it and feels like she's being current. So, are you saying you're doing a Melania Trump impression?
Yes, but you put the BL on there because that's my name, Melania.
Oh, God.
I have been following every town hall meeting of this whole election, but we'll talk about that another day.
No, we're not going
If I was
to.
born. No.
Hey, did you hear that Trump said titties yesterday on his speech? Here,
Yes,
go ahead and play it, Chris. This is
to cut regulations massively. Our lower business tax will also end job-killing corporate inversions and cause trillions in new dollars and wealth to come pouring into our country. And, by the way, into cities like right here in Detroit.
New wealth? All these billions of dollars pouring onto titties?
Yes.
That's great.
Yeah, well, we do that. We're down in Florida where BL is. Just throwing them, making it rain on them titties. Now, I watched the speech yesterday. It's so much duller when he does an actual speech instead of when he's fun Donnie.
When he just makes stuff up.
When he's fun Donnie, he says stuff that people get offended by. But the speech, he might as well be Pence.
I like the stuff that he says is like kind of sets him up so he can just wait to say something. Like you can see him thinking, so he'll be like, this thing, I love it. You're going to love it. It's going to be great. Everyone loves it. And I'm just like, I can see him going, what am I going to say after this thing? Like he's like, if I keep saying love it, eventually I'll have the next song ready to go and it'll be great. Well, I'll love it and I'll love it. And now what?
Well, I hope he makes I hope he's the comeback kid because I do want to see nukes in the air. I want balloons.
And Melania.
Oh, I forgot Melania's on the line. What is it, Melania?
No, I'm saying that my husband, he just gets right up. He is a man, and I love him. And Barron is our other son, and we overlook New York City. Can you imagine the freaking... Hey, it's a good one. She's hard to imitate.
Yes, you've proven that by not being able to pull it off. But Trump would never be with you. He's too much of a perfectionist. He needs 10 fingers. Hey, a lot of people don't know this about BL. 9 fingers, but 11 toes.
Oh. So it all works
12.
out.
I have 2 bunions, so that's 12. Square root, we get real messed up here. This is not good. My boss, Mark, I'm licking this gravy all over my fingers right at this friggin' stoplight in Florida. Pouring rain, baby. Pouring rain.
You've been raining there for days, right?
Jeezy, Pete. Oh, my God, you guys.
Yeah, I saw
it's
that.
Like when y'all get the snow. It just won't stop.
There's some kind of a terrible rain, right? That's just hanging off the coast and just creating floods everywhere.
It is. We'll be getting a good flood. There'll be people floating on their air mattresses, laughing in the bay.
Right,
and the sad part is that's where it brings up moccasins and gators and all sorts of eight-legged friends. And they'll eat you.
If you just say moccasins, it just sounds like slippers. You got to say water moccasins.
Anybody who doesn't know a moccasin up your ass, it'll eat you to death, and you'll get killed. I'm serious. Those bastards are slick, man.
Why aren't you on TV doing the news?
They run.
Just
I
stop.
need to see you doing the news. Yeah. Have you ever seen Naked News? Yes, I love it. Mm-hmm.
God, ADD.
Suck my titty with gravy.
What? Don't sit there and eat in front of us. You're being disgusting.
I know, and I've topped off my Tang with 151 rum, and that's not good either. And I can't fart. I've had to pull over. I can't drive. I'm nervous.
Did you also say you can't fart?
Sweating my balls off. We're in Florida. You have to turn off the air when you call in Sirius XM building. Are you nuts?
BL, was there a reason you called today?
There actually wasn't. I was bored.
I tell you, if I lived near here, the fucking news in the paper the next day would be man beats old whore with boat paddle.
Hey, some guy just jacked off on a toy horse at Walmart. Top that one.
Wait, let's see if we can.
This guy just beat off. Huh?
Let's slow you down. She said that a guy jacked off into a toy horse at Walmart.
He fucked it?
Do you remember those little horsey sticks? And we rode them. It looked like a broomstick. Kind of like
a hobby. Is that a hobby horse?
No, she's saying, like, you know how it's like a broom, like she rides to work?
Sure.
This is one of those, it's a stick, and then it just has like a zebra head at the top, and then the kids skip with it like idiots. So you're saying he masturbated on one?
Yes, he did. He ran one, and I mean, just right there in the toy section, just had to clear it out, and it's really devastating to our town right now. It's every single time. Florida.
Why?
Somebody every time.
It's devastated.
BL
the county.
You look like every meth head sea witch that gets fucking busted down there. Every time I turn on, I go, "There's BL." They're fucking dragging her off in a bikini in a cop car. Because anytime that you see a girl in a bikini and cuffs, it looks like a sex act every time.
It's a good look.
Yeah.
Hey, no, I'm pardon me. Oh, we need to get back to your listeners. Oh crap, we're in the middle of a show.
Oh, Jesus.
We got to hit a hard break, don't we?
The heartbreak is what you've done to our momentum.
I'm so sorry. Melania, I'll be entertaining my Donald in our bed tonight with 18-karat gold sheets.
That's Melania Trump. That's the big impression. Save that. Save that for America Has No Talent. A fucking show you could go on. But BL, you know how she lost her finger, right?
Yes.
That she's so old, she's just turning into dust, and it's just blowing. Her body's blowing away a piece at a time.
It is, Benny. It's so sad. I'm just, you're exactly, I'm worse than the Zika virus that they found in Miami. It's sexually contracted.
They didn't find it.
I'll be getting it.
You should. I thought when you said instead of Miami, I thought you were going to say my vagina.
Whatever.
Just fucking nest of Zika mosquitoes in there. All right, BL. You have a hang up on that phone of yours?
Actually, I don't have an off button, Ron. You know that.
Yeah, that is true. You do not have an off button.
Happy week, and go Hillary, go Donald. Donald, shave those suits and get out of the sunbed, and he will win. Right. But although Hillary is 9% ahead today, if you guys need a correspondent.
Oh, jeez, I'm just going to hang up. Just going to hang up. I have a pain on the top of my head now from her calling.
It was a pretty good Melania Trump impression, though.
Melania, get it? Because I'm BL Melania. Hello, everybody. It's me, Melania. She's not even fucking attempting an impression. And then she just fucking rooted for Hillary and Trump.
Good luck to both Hillary
USA
and Trump. No matter what, we all win.
America wins. What a fucking lunatic. All right, you didn't tell us about the food yet. We've all been waiting. And
so you want to know what
he invented something and pizza in a cone?
His invention is a cylindrical carbohydrate that is a bagel exterior. So it's going to be a little bit like thicker, so it's not going to spill everything out. Then inside there are chambers of courses. So let's say you have like a pulled pork section, and then in another chamber, which is separated by a bagel wall, there's like a mac and cheese or like some sort of other side. And then you work your way down until the very last chamber has a dessert. Say a peach cobbler is what his example is. So each is in their own separate chamber. You're working your way through courses, and the meal is in a cylindrical shape that fits perfectly into the standard cup holder size.
Well, first of all, this guy has thought way more about it than we did. Now, because this thing has got a bagel outside to it, right? And I'm going to have a protein side and then a side.
Yeah.
Side, which he was using as mac and cheese.
Right.
But I imagine you could put a salad in there,
sure,
mashed potatoes, whatever. Can I eat one side of it, then the other side? Or do I have to have all of it together? Will that bagel hold up enough that I could get a bite of meat and then a bite of potato?
I think that the center wall is firm enough that you would be able to separate your courses if that's what you'd like, or you could eat them together if you're the type of person who likes to mix your food, so you could like bite in between those two walls.
Now, I read this before, and I don't know whether it's true, but since I read it in the paper, I decided to believe it. Eating a bagel is the same as eating an entire loaf of bread.
What?
Right? So his thing is much bigger than a normal bagel.
Yes.
So already it's like getting 3-4 loaves of bread.
This is going to be a very large meal.
Sounds delicious.
Right.
But
first of all, I give him all the credit for this. He managed to keep dessert as part of the meal.
He kept dessert as a part of the meal, a separate bottom chamber that once you've made your way through your courses.
How do we stop the children from eating from the bottom up so they're getting their peach cobbler? No, it's kind of, and I don't know whether this will work, but if this was Shark Tank, I'd have to say, I will give you $100,000 for 15% of the company. Now, I expect that $100,000 to be paid back to me, and then as $1 a cylinder, okay? Until I get my $100,000 back, and then you no longer have to pay me, but I do own 15% of the company.
I think that they should take that deal.
I smell money. You can see it up on the iBang. I hate to say this. There's genius to this idea.
There's some genius.
I was going to accuse him of just making a wrap, but a wrap does fall apart.
A wrap falls apart. This is a much sturdier wrap that kind of stands on its own. And much like the burrito issue that we've discussed earlier, you're going to have something that is able to contain everything inside without falling all over your lap. And a bagel's exterior is not a greasy thing like a bun can be greasy. A bagel's exterior would not be that way.
No. The only problem, as I say, you're getting an enormous amount of carbs with that thick exterior.
I have a couple of concerns, most of them related to the heating process of like, how are we going to perfectly heat each course within one bagel cylinder?
I guess you're going to buy this hot. So
Okay.
you start eating in the car, you go to a drive-thru, you get it, and that's why he's saying peach cobbler instead of ice cream.
Right. So it will be warm and probably at that point, like not piping hot, but a very good temperature one towards the end.
There's nothing better than peach cobbler and bagel.
It's like a peach bagel.
Delicious bagel crust.
Chris, where are you? Are you giving this a thumb up, thumb down?
I feel like it needs to have a removable top, a removable bread top.
You're
What do you
going to
mean?
remove it with a bite.
Your mouth will remove it.
And I'm also worried about the bagel wall.
What are you concerned about?
I feel like your protein's going to leak through the bagel wall.
No, it's not. It's a sturdy bagel wall. Do you ever get cream cheese leaking out of the top of a bagel?
No, absolutely not.
No, that's a good point.
It's a very sturdy carbohydrate.
Keith, where are you on this one?
I'm into it, but I don't like the ingredients that they're throwing out there.
No, you go into your ingredient. I mean, look, that's like saying, thinking that a sandwich is just pulled pork. It's not. There's a million different sandwiches.
I would totally be into it if it was a burrito style. Like that's the kind of food that was in there.
Go
I think
ahead.
that
You
would
can have
be
that.
great.
Go ahead.
What's stopping you?
Yeah, you can definitely have
But
that.
it's not, you're not going to have the sloppiness of the burrito. Plus, you're getting 10 times the amount of carbs that you need on any day.
But the bagel scares me because it doesn't pair well with everything.
I disagree.
I don't
think
think
it
a
could.
bagel would pair well with Mexican food.
Have you tried it?
Looks like I'm doing that tomorrow on carb day.
First of all, every day is carb day for you, dude. Stop acting like you're Jack LaLanne.
Sign me up for the bagel burrito. That's what I'm calling it. It's a fucking bagel
What's he call it? Does he have a great name for it?
No, he is still trying to figure out. If you scroll down to the bottom of the article, he throws a couple options out there, but he's still willing to take some suggestions. But it's like stuff related to being cylindrical.
He's calling it cylinders.
First of all, I love that name. Let's not even go on. Cylinders. Get me 2 cylinders. I'm fucking starving.
Cylinder, 1 pork, 2 chicken, and all of those with extra cheese, please.
Tudes.
Tudes, as
Tudes,
in
like
tube plus what?
Foods, like tube foods.
See,
Okay.
tubes would be good enough. Give me a tube.
Or foobs, as in food tubes. Foobs.
I think cylinder might be better.
Hold on, there's Scylla meals, like cylindrical meals.
No.
He's still.
This
isn't.
futuristic.
We need to hand this to the marketing department. He's the inventor.
And then Drive Eats. I feel like bagel burrito is the best one.
I just heard back from HR. They definitely say that they need at least 2 people saying that's what a Keith is.
I'm there for you. I'm there for you, HR.
Stop.
God knows I've been in enough trouble with them. I gotta get them back in their good graces.
I don't think that's how the snitching is how it works out with HR.
You know what he got in trouble for?
What was it?
Rape.
Okay, I feel like I should have been informed before
I forgot. I wanted to tell you, but then you went off into some other story, and then I answered you, and then before I forgot to tell you about the rape. Yeah, it's the Fellender story. Bum 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 bum. John in North Carolina.
Hey, Bennington.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't know if this meal thing had a name yet. That's why I was calling. So, I had a suggestion.
Yeah, please do.
The Meagle, the meal bagel.
The Meagle.
Too close to Smeagol.
But isn't a bagel a meal already?
Could call bagel bits. That's what they're selling now off of Shark Tank. It's like little tiny pieces of bagel that you dip, and they're making a fortune with it.
Like almost like a donut hole, but it's a bagel hole.
Yes.
They're called bee holes.
Well, that wasn't the one that was on Shark Tank, though. That's the new one in New York.
Oh.
And I just read about them.
I think
and I think they're filled with something too.
I think Momofuku does that. The milk bar place also does like.
What are we waiting for? We should have that one day.
I know.
They call it bagel stuffings, but beeholes is a better name. Hey, Mike in PA.
Hey, I mean, if we're living in the land of burrito bagels and whatnot, why can't we just rewind and figure out exactly what Vito said?
The problem is that we're on this weird fucking concept on Raw Dog where we can't rewind as good as Opie Radio. People complain to us about it daily. Somebody complained 2 times and then hung themselves with their belt.
It's terrible.
And
It's really
I
sad
consider Don to be a murderer.
Sad that we couldn't help them.
We've never been able to help anyone.
No.
That's our problem. We even remind people of all the sadness in the world. Dutch, you're on the air, buddy.
Hey, what's up, buddies?
Yeah.
Hey, I was just curious. I'm heading to St. Croix next week for vacation. Should I pack my water moccasins for the beach?
You never give me bitches. Anything to hear from Blania. I'll kill you. Water moccasins will eat you alive.
Colin. In Oregon.
Yeah, I think that each chamber is going to fill with bacteria before you ever reach your destination. I mean, how do you keep the dessert cold and the pulled pork hot?
Well, we're going to need a hot
on the dashboard.
Yeah,
you're going to need
a kill everybody.
Okay, you're going to need a hot dessert, much like a pie type filling.
Yeah,
you're going to want a warm dessert, perhaps even a s'more like filling, like a chocolate marshmallowy situation,
or a strawberry ice cream. That you just have that's a little hotter. No one has ever died by eating hot ice cream. God, no one. People are always ready to say someone's going to die from something. And bacteria.
I prefer bacteria. It makes you stronger.
Huh?
Yeah, right? Bacteria makes you stronger. It builds your immune system.
Does it?
You have a demune system. Everything's just fucking pulling apart on you. Here's that handball game that I was telling you guys I got into the other day.
Love handball every
That's very cool.
I know a lot of the rules of handball. I played it at camp.
What you played was dodgeball, or as they used to call it, hit fatty.
That's what they called it?
Well, didn't you go to heavy set camp?
No, I went to Chelsea Piers Sports Academy.
That's what his mother said it was.
Yes, welcome to the academy, sir. Bam, 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 bam. I I feel like just going over to the Springsteen station for the rest of the day.
Well,
Chris, would you be on the Springsteen station or the Petty station?
Petty station.
Then you're going to hear this. Buried treasure. Lots of buried treasure here. Buried treasure. Where's that buried treasure at? I'm looking for buried treasure. That had to be the funniest thing when you can write your own theme song. I'm working on one right now called Unmasked. Time to hear Unmasked. Keith, you working on anything?
Like musically?
No. I just meant in your career. Are you working on anything?
Not at the moment, I guess.
How's that having Coach sing the song coming along?
I couldn't really do it during the show. I was going to do it after the show.
Just have her do some vocal exercises.
Have her run in here, and have her run in as fast as Spencer Berger runs in.
Burger style.
Berger got off a laugh yesterday, and Gail said, you're getting the biggest laughs. He goes, it's happening a lot lately.
Yeah, it is happening a lot.
It seems to happen a lot.
He crushes.
Good running.
I fail.
Speak a little Portuguese to us, and would be, and the Portuguese has to be the song that we do.
The Pretty Good Prize song?
Yeah. How do you say pretty good prize in Portuguese?
Prêmio muito bom.
Yeah. A lot of people don't know
Different syllables, though. So
the thing with her is she grew up a gaucho down there.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, she was after cattle with those weird... What are those things? A bolo? Is that what they throw?
Yeah, they're like really heavy balls at the end of a rope.
What are those balls made out of, though? Argentinian stuff?
No, it's like I want to say ivory, but that doesn't feel right.
Yeah, you would be wrong. You would be right that it
texture.
isn't ivory.
Yeah, it's it's weird.
I hear that Argentina has the worst steak.
Oh, it's absolutely terrible.
Oh, it is? I was doing it as a joke because everyone says it's the best steak in the world. People from Argentina always tell me, oh, the steak in Argentina is better than the steak in America.
There's a place that I would get Argentinian food, and it was like mostly meats. It was very good.
Yes.
Like a big meat platter.
The Brazilians are the same way.
Yeah.
Well, they're the same people, aren't they?
I mean, there's a lot of similar customs.
Yeah. And then you fight with each other.
Yeah.
Why don't you love?
That's reasonable. Actually,
Soccer.
it's really weird. Soccer is the reason for both of them, actually. Brazilians tend to be a lot more friendlier and welcoming than Argentinians because they're a little snobby.
Argentinians are snobs?
Yes.
I didn't know that. Did you, Chris?
No idea. I thought they were welcoming, beautiful people. Guess not. Guess they're a bunch of dicks.
Well, they're just a little bit snarky. No, but they get along. It's just Brazil. I feel like Brazil is just kind of like the odd person out because they're like, we speak Portuguese, we don't speak Spanish. Everybody around us speaks Spanish though, and it's.
But you speak Spanish and Portuguese.
I learned Portuguese in school.
See, so you know 3 languages.
4. I would say 2.5.
4 if you count Nazi German, so she can talk the way she does to her grandparents.
My brother was learning German.
I'm sure they were.
Yeah.
Her grandfather or great grandfather, I think, died in a camp, concentration camp, when he fell off the guard tower and shooting at some people escaping.
Wow, it's good story. That's fascinating.
I'm looking for buried treasure. Buried treasure. Lots of buried treasure here. Why don't we take a break, Coach?
Sure.
And, I want you to throw it to break since this is your year of being an intern. You're the number 2 intern for the show, right behind Spencer Berger. So I want you to learn broadcasting a little bit.
Number 2 out of 2.
Yeah. Throw it to break now.
Wait a sec. What do we say when we go to break? This is... Bennington. Be right back.
It's the Bennington Show. Is GPS tomorrow?
GPS is airing tomorrow at 4 p.m.
4 p.m. on Deep Tracks, Channel 27.
4 p.m. Deep Tracks, Channel 27. It's the Muscle Shoals sound. That's tomorrow?
That's tomorrow, Wednesday. It's also available on demand.
Well, I'll just do it that way then. I demand to listen to it as soon as I'm off this show.
So up on the iBang, there's an article about the kind of hipster aesthetic that has kind of taken over in restaurants and cafes and coffee shops. This kind of look of it's a small place, it's kind of kitschy, it's kind of unique but still aesthetically pleasing, and how that is now the majority of places you see, whether or not they're a small cafe.
Yes, Brooklyn is everywhere.
Yeah.
Like any town you go to has a Brooklyn section where people go, this is our Brooklyn.
And part of that is like they're kind of blaming it on a sort of like global taste level, that because of the internet, we kind of share things.
Everything
like,
happens fast.
Yeah. And we share things like on Pinterest and on Facebook and on Instagram. So we're kind of, we're more like aware of the trends that are happening that involve interior design. But because of that, we see the same places over and over and over.
Yes, it used to just be like corporate chains, but now people open up funky little places on purpose.
Like, do you remember going into a coffee shop and being like, oh my God, this is such a cute little funky place?
Yes.
And now that's just a place. And it would be very strange to see something that had a different aesthetic than the stereotypical kind of like hipster coffee shop look.
Right.
Like one of the biggest, to me, one of the most common ones you see everywhere is the Edison bulb. Like I remember when that became popular, I was like, oh my God, this is so cute. I want these all over my house. I think they're so adorable. And now they're so played out that
They're
they are
everywhere.
They're the standard look is like a shadeless Edison bulb all over your coffee shop or your restaurant.
Right.
That's like one of the probably the most common. I think that my personal most annoying one is I hate the trend of the community seating.
Yes.
Like family style seating.
Well,
Yes,
it's
but
just like
even
big
when you're
benches.
not with family.
Right. Yeah.
So you're eating with other people in that way.
I despise that as that type of trend. Is there like one that is particularly annoying to you?
I feel like now everyone has a chalkboard. Doesn't matter what kind of
That's
restaurant
really
it is.
true.
Every whether it be a high end restaurant or a dive bar or whatever, everywhere in between, it's nothing but chalkboards.
I would agree with that, particularly because even places that you would have just had a chalkboard because you wrote the specials, now the chalkboard game, because of Instagram and social media, has to be stepped up. I worked at a coffee shop, I worked at a restaurant, and both places were like, we need some like really cute signage. Like if you guys every morning like have a funny little joke, and it's just like, shut the fuck up. Like I just got to work. Like, yeah, it's like the most annoying thing. It's like some punny thing, or like if you're a good drawer, draw something cute.
All right, I got one for you, and that's the exposed like air conditioning things above you.
Yes.
Instead of a drop ceiling, there's that.
This is a big one that's mentioned in this article, is the industrial look, is like that kind of repurposed industrial look.
Right.
Where it's just like, we just found this thing. Or
Yeah,
like
it's an old warehouse.
Yeah, but it's
They
not.
used to make paper here, but the building is 2 years old, so they couldn't have.
The first place that I saw do that on a large scale, like corporate level, is Chipotle would have like industrial looking exposed pipes and all that kind of stuff. And I'm like, yeah, but you're not that kind of place. You like put those there.
Here's one too, is like that kind of blown out floor, like it's a wood floor, but instead of trying to make it nice,
Yes.
it's just
It's like an
scraped clean.
unfinished,
Yeah.
like repurposed wood became
Right.
really popular. It came out of the shabby chic era, and then that kind of became like the like repurposed farmhouse place where you're like, I just found this driftwood and I made a table. And you're like,
But everybody has taken this hipster thing, which was actually people who were starting these businesses without a lot of money.
Right.
And now it takes a lot of money to recreate that. And you're doing it in places where that look doesn't even exist, like a suburb.
Right.
Or
So now, you know, this is where that kind of stuff gets really tricky, because people start to despise things that were sort of incorporated by other people, but they're like, that's hipster. But you're like, well, at this point, this is somebody who's taken something to try to look that way. And now you're saying you hate the original people who had that aesthetic.
It's been co-opted.
Yeah, like something that starts as counterculture gets adopted by the mainstream, but then you're then still blaming the original counterculture for what you hate about that thing. I mean, look, anytime you're seeing the same shit over and over, it's annoying.
That's the thing.
And like I said, like these types of looks, like, were very cute to me when I first saw them. I'd be like, oh, cute little coffee shop. And now it's just like, it's just a regular place. It's the standard issue place.
I never thought Edison Bowl would be destroyed for me. I thought that it was the coolest thing in the world. Now it's done.
What about distressed floors?
Those I
Also,
still kind of like.
Yeah, and also, it's like there's like these two extremes, particularly in bars, where it's like the community, or it's like only stool seating everywhere.
Right.
So it's just like, it's a bunch of mixed match stools. Like, it's not like they have whatever.
They love to do it with plates and shit, too.
Yeah.
Like, what plate did you get?
Like, what about a booth? You know what I mean? Like a good old school booth. That's what I like in a bar. It's like a solid. You're going to take over a little corner, a section. You're going to stay there for a couple hours.
Here's Eric. Eric, what's up, buddy?
Hey, Ron, I know that I hadn't seen one before. Did this place exist before Friends? Or was that the first place you ever saw one of these hipster coffee shops?
Well, I think Friends was trying to do a Starbucks, but the thing was, they had more of a yuppie place, right?
Yeah.
And they were like literally yuppies and not even pre-hipsters at all.
Right. That's another one that, like, the two get confusing, where someone like, I hate hipsters. And then they're like, hipsters with their, and then they proceed to talk about things that are yuppie-ish, like with their artisanal cheeses and their, like, farm to table. And it's like, well, no, there's someone else. That's like the kind of yuppie version,
Right.
or yipster, if you will.
They do run together, because some of the hipsters are working 100-hour weeks. You know what I mean? And they're working literally, like, they're not on their laptop for fun at a coffee shop. They're
Right.
fucking working.
Exactly.
And that's even more annoying than somebody having fun.
And the Central Perk thing, I would say, is probably, if you don't live somewhere urban, that might have been your first time seeing that kind of like cutesy, kitschy coffee shop look. But that stuff has existed for a long time in urban places, where
Sure.
it's just like, oh, this is, they threw together this little thing with what money they had. Like, that was kind of
I still think an old school diner beats all.
Yeah, me too. Like, that's what I was kind of saying, like an old school diner and like a solid dive. And I don't like, I also think that gets misused sometimes.
The fake dive?
Yeah, either a fake dive or like an actual dive, when people like romanticize a dive, and you're like, no, that's like pretty uncomfortable. But it's like, just like a solid neighborhood place.
A place for alcoholics.
Yeah, a
to
place where
congregate.
alcoholics congregate.
Yeah.
But it's not the worst thing that's ever
First of all,
happened. Yeah.
I didn't think if you're a true dive, you're not all sitting around talking like Cheers. There's fucking people separated with their own problems.
They're pretty quiet.
Yeah, drinking themselves and trying to forget the past.
Spaced out.
Yeah. Fucking bitch left me and just sitting there.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, fucking ruined my life. Why? Maybe this fucking straight scotch will help me. Let me figure out what I'm doing.
But I also don't know, like, what the next wave will be, because there has to be a kind of response to that thing.
I think it's going to be a virtual reality thing where you go in and it'll be whatever you want it to be. Like, the decor of the place will change for each person, specifically to reflect what each person likes. So you would see something different than me.
Mine's probably still going to have Edison bulbs in it.
Yeah.
I was just like,
Yeah.
I guess just the standard hipster coffee place. Everyone just is thinking the same shit anyway.
Brian, what's happening?
Oh, not much. Hey, like, first of all, it seems like the hipster thing is more rooted in dudes. Like, it's easier to go, that dude's a hipster. I don't know if it's easier to qualify a girl as a hipster.
I disagree with that too.
I think it gets used a lot.
Just Google
But then,
hipster
like,
chicks.
what movie or television series or band or musician originated the hipster movement? When did that arrive?
I'm going to say this. I think that you could look at the roots of this being in grunge in a lot of ways, because that was the coffee scene when no one in the country was doing a coffee scene. And those were people that were really counterculture in the 90s, you know?
I think that that's where it started there, but I think that you can go all the way back to the Beats, and the Beats were the beginning of kind of hipster counterculture.
And there's always been that beat scene. There's always been a counterculture scene.
They congregated in coffee shops, but they also put on plays in little, back rooms of different businesses. They weren't trying to seem mainstream, but then that, of course, gets adopted by mainstream.
Yeah.
So I think that was probably, at least for the U.S., I mean, who knows for other cultures, had to be the beginning of the counterculture, hipster, scenester vibe, whatever you want to call it.
But what even if you go back to the 20s and 30s where people were dropping out and going to Paris and stuff like that?
Yeah.
There seems to be that vibe as well of some people who are just like, it is more important for us to be artists and writers than anything else.
Right.
And most of them weren't good. There's only a couple that are ever good. But the second that On the Road got published, the hipster scene, which had been very, very small, the beatnik scene, it was as good as done.
Right.
As good as done. I mean, it's a couple years later, you got Maynard G. Krebs being on fucking TV, acting like a hipster.
Yeah, and that's the thing, is that then that original culture kind of get blamed. Like, even when we said Google hipster girl, there's a lot of those girls who look like they're incorporating a style, but you're like, do you think that chick actually is an artist? Do you think that chick actually like shops vintage? You know what I mean? Like, there's ways where it gets incorporated where that becomes the kind of like loathsome version of what it was originally.
Like Urban Outfitters selling stuff like that.
Yeah, or like,
That's where you go, right, Chris? Urban Outfitters?
There in JCPenney.
Yeah, like that.
Does anything fit you at Urban Outfitters? Or?
No, it wouldn't.
Underwear,
No, it
Underwear?
doesn't. There's no way. I'm not trying to be mean.
It's for small people.
Yeah.
We
Chris
serve
can
small
shop
people.
at American
I've never
Apparel.
stepped foot in one. And I buy my underwear from dollar stores. I'll be totally honest.
I don't know how you can put up with that.
Well, it's just as good as any other underwear.
No, a low quality panty is pretty much the worst. It's not good. It's something worth investing
There's
in.
nothing worse than bad elastic band on your underwear.
The main problems are sometimes there's already holes in them. Sometimes there's no like dick hole for the underwear. But other than that,
Do you actually use that when you go take a piss?
no, I pull.
Yeah. They don't blame you.
So that's why I don't have a big problem with it. I'm fine with it. It's just like
I think it's a small minority of people who decide to use that cock hole.
I have heard some debate, and it sounds like a minority uses the penis hole. But there's also
the actual penis hole we use.
Yeah.
But
Oh,
not
yeah.
one
The
on
hole
underwear.
in the penis. Sure.
Yeah,
You got I think that's standard.
used for at least two different purposes.
That's standard.
Yeah.
But there's also like a thing where it's like some people unzip but keep buttoned. Some people go up and over the elastic. Some people go up and over everything.
Mm-hmm.
I think I was unaware how many options there were when it seemed to, from a woman's perspective.
It's a man's world.
Yeah.
It is definitely a man's world.
From a woman's perspective, it seems like the most simple way to urinate is just like, oh yeah, you guys just stand and you pee and then that's it.
It is. It's simple, but you're open up to the way that you want to do it.
Yeah, I didn't realize how many preferences.
I even knew a friend who went down underneath his jockeys. That he popped up and went underneath.
Really?
Yes, and he claimed that was the easiest, fastest way for everything to happen.
Unorthodox.
Yeah,
what interesting.
And you know what? Unorthodox is the name of the game there, though, because you're not being compared. No one will look over and go, "Wait, excuse me, did you just go underneath?" It's up to you.
Right. It's whatever's most comfortable for you.
Mm-hmm. I know. Well, I'm not going to even get into it right now. I know some people who. I know a guy. I'll just put it that way. that even pissing, he felt the need to change his underwear as quickly as possible because he thought that there would be a spot or two no matter how much he shook it.
What?
I also know people who will dab the top of their penis with toilet paper.
Ew.
Yeah, they'll give it a little dab.
I had a friend who said that they accidentally saw their dad peeing and that they saw him do that. And like, for some reason that disturbed him more than anything in the world is to see his dad dab, dab his pee hole.
There are people who dab. And again, it's, each person's call. I would never be a dabber.
I can't dab.
What do you mean you can't?
I can't.
You can dab if you needed
can
to.
dab. You just choose not to.
I couldn't do it. I'd
Why?
feel too crazy. I'd feel crazy if I was dabbing.
See,
I'm just thinking about just dabbing my dick.
Yes.
But if it was like leaky or drippy, maybe you'd have
That's
to.
what the toilet urinal's for. To get it all out.
But
That's
what
what
if
It's a toilet urinal.
Yeah, what if you had an old school case of the clap?
You know what? I didn't think about that. Random leakage.
Like the mass listener said this 100% of the time, I use zipper and penis hole, never unbutton.
See, there are people who they find that most comfortable. I didn't realize so many options.
All right, Sarah McPan said this about Urban Outfitters to protect you, Chris.
Okay.
Urban Outfitters is a douche boat store.
Okay.
And Chris is more of a douche barge.
Thought it was to be protecting. It just hurt.
It was a comment on the size, I think.
Think, Gail?
Because you're bigger than a boat.
Lance, what's up?
Ronnie, I'm blown away by this. I've always unzipped, never unbuttoned, always used a fly. I thought everyone did.
No, and you think that because once you have any kind of learned thing, obviously you don't go checking in with other people. It works for you. I say don't overthink it.
Yeah.
I would never question anybody or tell them to go in my direction. I say find what's comforting for you.
Yeah.
And use that as your piss ritual.
I say maybe try a new piss ritual.
I do have a problem with people who sit when they don't need to.
That's weird.
And I'm always alarmed, like when I go into the restroom here, the people that rush in to use the stalls and they're standing. I'm like, you got to get over that.
Right.
Except for I give benefit to the famous people because I'm sure they're nervous that someone's going to take a picture of their dick.
Right. Or just lean over and be like, so that's what your dick looks like.
It's sad that we live in a world that people have to concern themselves with such things.
People are obsessed with dick.
But are there men who?
No, you're wrong. I would say that's about the same as a school shooting. That somebody would look over and take a look at your penis. There's just as big of a case that somebody would come in and start shooting.
Are there men who prefer to just sit, just like that's
Yes,
what's
there are.
comfortable?
I've talked to many. I've talked to many in my life.
In public.
Yes.
Because to me, that's a cross I have to bear.
Right.
I'd prefer not to sit. Yes, it's very comfortable to sit at home in the home of your loved ones.
Yeah, some people are very lazy, and other people are like they're so looking to hide their penis from the world. They're inside of a box with their dick pushed down between their legs. And then they dab, and they're back out on the street.
Dab on top.
You might as well dab if you're going to sit down.
Okay, I have a bit of a graphic question here.
Okay.
But if you're a sit to pee gentleman, what's the shake situation? Because I know the shake is part of the standing piss ritual. What are your shake options then?
You can still shake from there.
Just seems a little bit more hazardous.
Oh yeah,
near like
yes, the
everything.
whole thing is a hazardous
because you're
situation.
shaking so close to your own personal
Right.
undercarriage.
You're exactly right. You are exactly right.
I only have one time when I'll sit and pee, and it's in the middle of the night when I don't want to turn the lights on because like I don't want to wake back up and I don't want to miss.
Then you know what? You should stay asleep, dude.
Just piss.
I mean, if you're
Wear a
that
diaper
fucking
then.
bad, yeah.
I ain't sitting. All right, there'll be a piss tsunami in there.
You will not sit under any circumstances.
No, I refuse.
I don't believe that at all.
Why would I if I got 2 working legs?
I've seen you sit for less.
Wrong.
Vince in Delaware.
Yeah, I had to call in because the way I do it when I'm standing at a urinal, no matter what I'm wearing, is I go over the elastic of my underwear, but I also take my balls out when I do it too.
Normally when you go over, that's good. There's going to be spillage. You might as well just ride it out. There's no reason to start talking and worrying.
There's none.
People put too much thought into this.
I like this guy too.
Wait, so he's got everything up and out. That's what he's saying.
But once you start to go in, who knows what's going to come out?
It's true.
Here's Tom. Tom, what's up, buddy?
Hey, Ron, how you doing, bud? Hey, I'm just kind of worried about. I'm just worried about Chris there. That's all. I don't know if he's following the conversation with you or not. I swear he said cock hole, and I just wanted to make sure Chris understood that you were talking about underwear, not his mouth.
Oh, that's me.
Yeah, but if you thought by cock hole we meant your mouth.
Is that what you were thinking?
I wasn't thinking that.
No, but let's just be clear so you're clear on it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Because I know people have referred to your mouth that way.
Yeah, it's like when we were saying cockhole, we meant the place where pee comes out of, not the place that cocks go into.
And we also meant the place in the underwear is also could be
sure, and that's also a hole for your cock.
That's what designers call it. And are we going to?
That's a technical term. Yeah.
We're going to put a cock hole in the front of this underwear. Chris in Charlotte.
Hey, Ronnie, have you ever? I think Tommy John has advertised with you. Have you ever tried their underwear?
Yes, I have. I had to wear it once I had Tommy John surgery. They immediately told me to start wearing the underwear until I was healed. Now they're
the best. They're the best cock hole in an underwear ever.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the best.
It's comfortable.
Roomy? Is that?
It's
no,
also
it's just easier to pull your dick out and take a piss than it is the.
And it's also a little more upper end than what Chris does, so that you go from a snug area to a nice roomy area.
I've seen. Yeah, I've seen. It looks like there is a well, a little vestibule.
Yes.
Where the penis and balls are able to be cradled.
Oh, here you go. Yeah.
And it actually looks, I would imagine it to be very comfortable.
It's a push-up bra for your penis.
Yeah.
Chris, I'm looking at the prices here.
Yeah.
$30. So you're obviously not going to go in that direction.
No.
You can buy 30 underwears for that.
Underwears.
Exactly.
As soon as you call it underwears, you're a piece of shit. Fucking Astoria, Queens garbage truck.
No. Listen, you go to the deals, discounts, get your underwears for cheap. It's fine. Right there on Broadway in Astoria.
The other Broadway.
Yeah,
Men get very annoyed when I refer to men's underwear as panties. They don't care
that's a
for
problem.
it.
Don't like that.
They don't like it.
No. You know why? Because some people's mothers did that with them when they were little, and they thought it was a way to emasculate them.
Or like when a mom will say to a boy, like, "Put your blouse on."
Yes. Do you know that the Marines call their shirt a blouse?
Is that a blouse?
Yeah. They'll say, I think their dress shirt is a blouse. And they say it proudly. But I remember when I was this time of the year too, and you would go back school shopping, and everybody would be battling over the clothes. My mom would yank my pants down in the aisle and put on another pair of pants on me, and I would be like, "Mom, please." Right? I'm like in first grade, and then she would then say, "No one cares about your," like, really? You have to add to that? I realize that I'm not of a sexual age now, but I want to feel like a man, even at age 6.
You have no privacy. No one gives you any space.
When you're a child?
Oh, yeah.
No. I just thought you meant me in particular.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, a lot hasn't changed.
I just think about pants shopping with my grandmothers, and they'll just like grab the crotch of your pants and be like, "Does this fit? Do you have enough room in here?" And you're like, "That's a private area, and it's being yanked aggressively."
They would be arrested
by an elderly hand.
Those same loving people would be arrested today. My mom would spit on a handkerchief and rub it across my face, hard as she possibly could. She would attempt to wipe the skin off of my face. That's how dirty I guess I was. I don't know. And I remember it being, I can't think of a worse pain I've ever had than just getting that wooden napkin. And I'm like, what did I do? You feel this need to rip skin off.
For little girls, it's the feeling of your mother brushing your hair or brushing a tangle out of your hair. And me thinking, like, this is abuse. Like, what I'm experiencing is horrifying. And it's just like my mom holding me down, like, with her knee, and she's just, like, yanking my hair.
Yeah. They think if you go fast, it'll be over.
We're just ripping parts of your scalp
But
off.
your fucking hair, man, was just like a bird's nest.
I know. It's still kind of like that. It needs constant brushing. I feel like my hair has, like Velcros to each other.
Yeah, they Velcros together. But you can tell weekend dads by just how shitty their daughter's hair looks
So
when
bad.
they go out. You just see them go, like coming in for brunch, and this like little blonde hair is just almost knotted together because they've been with their real dad for 48 hours. And then he attempts to put it in some kind of a pigtail, which also looks like shit.
I also think it's really funny when a dad attempts a braid. It's a very funny
It's
look.
impossible. It's impossible. The weekend dad is the most difficult position known to man because you're doing something that you have zero experience in. Zero. Taking care of children. There's no DNA.
Mm-mm. You don't come by it naturally.
No. A father is always even faking interest. You know what I mean? Let alone to actually have to take care. So, like, a father doesn't even know, like, when the mom said, "Did you see the baby's hair?" And you're like, "Yeah," but you're lying. And you're like, "Oh my God, that's cute." But it's just a pure lie because you don't know what cute is.
Well, it's strange, like, how it's something like you're fighting against your nature. And that could be why anytime you're just, like, not a shitty dad, people are like, he's so great with them. Because they
when you're not
believe-
punching them.
Yeah, when you're not punching your kid, when you're physically present, you're a great dad. Where women, or I think it comes in a natural way that it's hard to even understand. Like, if there was just like some little foundling child, it would take me all of 30 seconds to be like, this is my baby now. Like, I love this baby. This is mine. I have imprinted upon the child.
Where, like, when you're a man, you can look at your own children and be like, I don't know how I feel yet.
Like,
don't have the feelings that other people have.
So you ever like talk to a young new dad and like their whole thing is just like, yeah, like the baby just like seems really cool. Like it's just like a really cool baby. And you're just like, oh my God. Like you're just like, you could see there's just like something really cool about the baby.
Or when somebody delays, like have a baby, I'm going to definitely teach them to hit from both sides of the plate, because they're like, well, I know something coaching, what I mean? Like I've seen coaches before, I could get how that means just like the lean on a kid, but they don't know. It's not there. It's not there. It's not inside a man.
It also, I think, makes the birth process really nerve-wracking for the man because my friend Cameron just had a baby this weekend and this is his first child. And one of the things was like he was so focused on like this is terrifying. Like what she's going through is terrifying to me.
It's horrific for a man to say. And yet because we've pushed every man into it, we're kind of even ruining it for women. You know what I mean?
I mean, to be present for the birth.
Yes. If someone said, "Oh, are you going in for a birth?" and a guy today would say, "Oh my God, no. I'm going to sit in the other room." Everybody would act like he was a beast instead of maybe that's the best for both of them.
I think it's overrated. The man being present as a standard. I think if you are with somebody and they're like, this person is really good in times of like difficulty when pain is happening, sure, go case by case. But I don't think it should be just the standard. Like, I think that there's something very comforting about like a gathering of women who get together and figure out, okay, the birth situation.
Look, if you want to be traditional, that is the exact tradition that has existed since man first jumped out of the monkey tree, right? Yeah. It was women taking care of it And then the man going, oh, while you were having that baby, look what food I killed for us.
Right.
I am a really good provider, not a good nurturer.
Anytime I've heard a family talk about their birth plan where they're saying like, yeah, we decided not to do like the midwife doula thing because like we just wanted him like really involved. And it's like, do you? Because like I've talked to him.
Well,
I'm not sure I'd want him around for that.
I think the instinct of any man is to stop the pain and stop the bleeding and all that. So that's why a lot of like, get some drugs in here for her. And you're slowing this process down and maybe even eventually leading to the child to be cut out of the mother because you're like, we're definitely not doing any pain. I'm seeing to that. But I really think, even in terms of nurturing, the real job of the man is to back the mom up like a fucking henchman, really. Just to do that. You heard what your mother said. You heard her. Like, not even come up with the thought of what the children should do, but certainly wingman that shit is quick.
Right. I'm on her team.
Stop giving your mother shit, or else everything goes out in the lawn. Everything! I'll burn this house down before I hear you two jump on another bed. And then you're like, then you turn around and you're checking, like, is that it? Is that what you were going for? Did I overdo it? Brought it in a little hot. Gotcha. Because the initial thought of Usain Bolt is the fastest human in the world. The fastest. No one's faster. But if we were sitting in a room and a baby or a toddler fell and you hear that head hit the floor, every woman in the world would beat Usain Bolt because a man's initial thing is to freeze, not to take off, to freeze. And women just are drawn to it. They're drawn to that terrible sound. When a man is like, what the fuck was that?
Shock.
Was that the skull?
Was that the head?
I heard the skull hit. You're not. That's the thing that people don't understand. Some people, the DNA thing has to work. There is nature to this. And there's nothing wrong with doing your part of backing up.
Yeah, that's why case by case, figure out what is the best situation. Don't just have him around because you think that it would be shitty if he wasn't around and you want him to be good at this thing.
And I just want to say to women too, stop having fucking babies with nerds. You know what I mean? Just stop it with that. Me and Chris were out the other day and this fucking nerd dad, right? There were tourists, and he was like this, Tommy, what part in that play would you want to be? The kid's not looking up from his phone. What part, Tommy? What part of that play would you like to be? Earth to Tommy. Earth to Tommy. Maybe if I took this phone and put it up to my head, you'd be able to see me. And I'm like, you're just acting like a fucking sitcom, Dad. I wanted to say to this dude.
It was cringing, man.
Don't fucking ask your kid. You drug him to a fucking play, and now you're trying to educate him to what part he wants to be. This kid not only does he not want to fucking be in a play, he doesn't want to see a play. It's a fucking nightmare trip for him.
You want to play Minecraft all day.
Yes. You've taken him away from his friends and his fucking big computer.
Why do parents, I don't know. I ain't a parent, but why do parents bother trying to culture their kids when they're not going to appreciate it?
The fact that you called it culture their kids meant for sure. You hope the slightest thing fucking seeps in, right?
Okay.
But a kid, a play, I'm talking about a boy, a play, a museum, these are things that they hate in life. This is stuff that the older you get, the more you enjoy. Like, I could watch a play now better than I could when I was 20. There's no doubt.
And yet, you see so much. You go to museums and you see theater more as a child than most adults do currently. And then they base their dislike on those things from their experience of hating it as a kid.
Why would a little boy want to sit there and look at a painting and try to fucking wonder about light?
Figure it out.
What a little boy wants
What do you think of the composition, Tommy?
Tommy wants to do this. He wants to fucking run down the hall and then slide. That's what he wants to do.
I don't blame Tommy for wanting to do that.
If you really wanted to make a kid happy, let him go somewhere where he could throw rocks through glass.
Oh,
Because
God.
that's what he would like to do.
I'll do that right now.
All kids are one idea away from being in the fucking Khmer Rouge. That's why, like, you think immediately, if you really want a ruthless army, do what these African drug lords do and get 13-year-old boys in. Because they're mean as snakes.
Child wars.
Yes. Here's our friend Queen Elizabeth. Hey, Queen.
Hey, Ron. Hey, Gail.
Hi.
What you were saying about the family birth plan.
Yeah.
When I was pregnant with my daughter, I was watching that. There's a show on TLC called The Baby Story, and they track like the last 4 weeks of a pregnancy and then the delivery and all this stuff. And you know, I'm getting ready to give birth, so I'm watching this show, and there's this, for lack of a better term, hippie couple that the dad's being interviewed, and he goes, "We've decided to go with the no drugs birth," and I'm just sitting there like, well, what does that have to do with him? Like,
right?
You know, he's deciding, and
again,
you know,
a supporting role.
Right, and they're all in, oh, no, she's not going to have any drugs, she's going to have natural, so we can, you know, really experience the birth, and he keeps saying we, and I'm like, okay, well, fast forward ahead, she's in hard labor transition, and the producers are literally beeping out every word she's screaming, and like she's in agony. And he's like, remember what we decided? And she's like, wow, fuck what we decided.
Yeah, that's when you got to back your partner up. But this is the funny thing about men. And because there's so many male doctors, that they will, I got to get out of here by 4. Let's just cut the baby out. Like, they will literally, that whole thing that they'll just walk over and go like this. Look, this thing seems like it's not going to come, so we're going to just take you in and cut it.
That's what happened with my girlfriend. She was in labor all night, and the female gynecologist was like, "Oh, you'll be fine. Just let it out." Then she goes off shift, and the male gynecologist comes in, and he goes, "Yeah, let's get this done." He's like, "Enough of this.
Enough of this. Yeah. I got to get going. I got 15 people, and they treat it like it's planes lining up on a tarmac."
I'm all about that. Better living through chemistry. There is no reason to suffer if you don't have to.
I like what Ali Wong said in her special, that you got to get you a white hippie witch.
Yeah. But you know, it's a very weird thing that we ever call that like a hospital experience. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, no one's sick, so.
Yeah, the fact that we even go to the hospital turns it into a whole different fucking scene from Jump Street.
Yeah.
It's amazing the kind of shit that we just kind of don't think about. We do because it got done that way. But I think that's only like the 40s or 50s that became like a regular hospital deal.
And then they were doing that just like weird twilight sleep where you just wake up and your baby's 3 days old.
That was my mom had
and
that.
You're like, what?
Yeah.
You're like, yeah.
My mom was saying like that she was drifting out of sleep, and then she heard someone say he's not breathing.
Oh no.
Fuck.
He's not breathing. And she's like, what the fuck is going on? She would just come back in. She's like, is the baby in and out
so
like that?
Scary.
And then they put me in some fucking like little heating fucking thing. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't even get to be with my mom.
Yeah, to simulate mother's heat, which like your mother is like right over there.
Yeah.
And they're like, and let's dry up that breast milk. That's garbage. Don't use that stuff.
And you wonder why I wanted to hang out with my mom. I'm like, where are you going? You're leaving? Because I remember my first thought was, I'm in an oven now because my mom's not here.
Now, all the stuff about hospital births that I've heard and different, you know, like different people has like had bad experiences, or, you know, when you think about the positions that they kind of make you birth in, for example, like lying on your back, you know, that's not how any animal gives birth, that the squatting position, you know, like similar to like, would you shit laying on your back? Like, it makes sense. Like, you're using your muscles.
It's because
like,
we have hospital beds.
Yeah, it's because we have hospital beds. But the thing that really freaked me out that someone brought to my attention about having giving birth in a hospital is that a lot of hospitals make you take the IV because that's just like a legal thing. So they have to be sure that you're being hydrated the entire time. So now you have this IV in your arm, and if you've ever been in a hospital, you know how you can't crook your arm or grab anything because there's a needle in your arm, and then someone's telling you to bear down and push, but half of your side is completely useless. Like, you can't even position yourself. And, you know, if it involves the meats, that's going to be my most disturbing thing. So I was like, forget it. I'm not going.
What about the meats?
I mean, I have a home birth or just in a cafe with just some Edison bulbs surrounding me. Communal seating.
Oh, good. What's the guy from Twisted Sister? His daughter just gave birth on the LA freeway yesterday.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I guess the traffic was, hideous. She was on her way there and it came too fast.
I watched a birth where the guy, and I still don't really understand how the fuck this happened, but this guy is filming his wife, and they live somewhere rural, so they're on their way to the hospital. She's in the car, she's screaming, it's happening right now, and he's filming her while he's driving, which is already insane. She's pushing.
Oh, I saw that.
The baby comes out, and she's freaking out, and she's just like, what do we do? And he's like, just love her. And I'm just like, shut the fuck up. She's freaking out because she just had a baby in a car.
Bite through the cord, you idiot.
Like, why is he acting like, and he's being way too calm.
That's good though, right?
Like, it's got to be their like 12th kid, the way he's behaving. He's just like, it's just great. Go ahead. Just like, shut up. Stop filming me.
Creep.
Fucking pull this car over. I don't know what.
There's Giuliani on TV. I hope he's getting paid a lot of money to talk about 9/11 again. He became totally rich off 9/11. In the meantime, the same cops that he said he supported so much, they're fucking getting cancer, and he didn't even give anybody a call. Here's Patrick. Patrick in Kentucky.
Hey guys, love the show. I just wanted to add, man, I'm a father of two that birthed both kids at home, held my wife's legs for both of them, and it was her idea to not take any drugs, not mine. Because if I was putting something out of my ass that big, I would have been doped up like a son of a bitch.
I don't know how close you were, but it wasn't coming out of her ass.
There was definitely stuff coming out of her ass, that's for sure. Now, I definitely think that the man, if a man can stomach the whole childbirth, it's really an experience that nobody else can ever experience. It's nice.
And that's why all the men feel they have to go in, because somebody made that statement. And all the women went,
oh, he's great.
He's so good.
Get me one of those.
Waiter.
Make it two.
In the meantime, every other guy's like, how do I fake this?
How do I fake that not having a panic attack right now?
Right. Yes, Dee Snider. That's the guy from Twisted Sister. Nick, Sandog, what's up, buddy?
Hey, buddies, what's going on?
Well, you better get your first round pick signed.
Yeah, I know. I just saw that today. I was talking with my coworker, but I don't blame him. He's trying to get his money.
Yeah, but then they don't practice. They don't know what the fuck they're doing. It drives me nuts.
Season, they're fucked. Yeah. I don't know why he wouldn't want to live in fucking San Diego.
No kidding, man.
I get together with a group of like 10 guys every week. We play cards, and one of the biggest assholes of the bunch, we were planning a bachelor party, and he said, "No," he said, "I can't make it. You know, it's my kid's first birthday. I can't miss that." Expecting all of us to be like, "Oh, like that's great, man. Like that's really sweet." But it's like, no, dude, we're just gonna fucking murder you. Like he's not gonna know you weren't there. But I don't know if he said it because it's like I want to go with my chick. I want to support my chick. But his tone was like, we're all gonna support him. But it's like, we know you, dude. You're a fucking dick. Like, there's no way. And
we're fucking losing money and drinking. You suck at cards. You've got to be here. You don't understand. I need you just to fucking stay in the game.
And if I could just add one more thing, you guys were talking last week, best movie to show somebody who's never seen one.
Yeah.
I think A Bronx Tale would be perfect because it's like right amount of violence. There's good and bad, but neither one is really good or bad. Both sides of the story. Everybody gets their comeuppance.
Yeah.
And just perfect.
The fact that the dad ended up being the cool guy at the end was really nice. You know?
Yeah.
That's the fucking real tough guy, the guy who works. The guy who drives a bus around the Bronx. That's the tough guy, not the mafia guy.
Listen to him.
You wish you had that kind of dad?
I don't know.
You wish I had the kind of dad who was like, come on, son.
That
on,
seems
champ.
weird to me.
Yeah.
I don't want a nerd dad.
How you doing, champ? You okay?
Why you call me
Hey,
champ?
sport.
Hey, Sporto, having trouble at school with that girl?
Why are you
Look, she's lucky enough to have you.
Why are you talking to me like this?
Did your parents have any like nicknames for you like that, like champ or sport?
No. just
Kiddo.
Christopher. They would just call me Christopher.
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 Oh,
Look at Christopher just staring out the window at the other children playing. Someday you'll go outside, Christopher. Maybe when these crazy fucking gang wars are over. Christopher, this is called a zip gun. If you use it, chuck it in the East River immediately. Chris is fucking just going out to get some milk, and he's got a fucking blade next to his leg in case he has to stick it in someone's. And now you live in fucking Yuppie Town.
Yeah, it's nothing but hotels and co-ops. That's the entire neighborhood, and like the bodega owners were getting shot.
Well, this is the perfect movie to watch for Chris Stanley growing up, and it's called A Guide to Recognizing Your Saints. It was shot literally in his neighborhood, and that neighborhood is gone. That existence, that accent, like you talk about your parents' accent,
Yeah.
it's pretty much gone from that part.
Yeah, it's nothing but transplants now. No one's there has that accent, and
It's not transplant, it's transgender.
Okay,
God, I hate that it
transgender.
calls it a plant.
Trans. So the whole umbrella. You know what I mean?
His dad was transgender, so
Oh, I didn't
he might have
realize
been
that.
transitioning. I'm not sure.
Did have long hair.
Yeah.
oh, he had the face for it.
Oh yeah, beauty.
Chris has a nice face too. Remember that picture that was taken in Canada that everybody was talking
Yeah,
about?
that was a kind photo.
We gave him that benefit, and then he hasn't shaved since because we were all fucking just saying that he looked good.
Yeah, Bert Kreischer, you're killing it.
When's Bert's thing coming out?
I believe in the fall.
By fall, do you mean autumn?
Autumn, yes. Autumn, fall.
Gracer did that thing when he did the goddamn Comedy Jam. He did the old Red Hot Chili Peppers coming out with just a sock. And so did the whole band. And they were thrilled with it. One of the guys in the band said he never felt so free in his life. I'm like, what about when you take a shower? He goes, no, it's different if there's
Yeah.
other people looking.
Think about how free you'd feel without that sock.
How does that sock even stay on?
They've got to be using a rubber band
Or
or
some
something.
sort of adherent.
Adherent. That's nice for you, Chris.
Yeah.
Hmm.
A polymer, maybe.
That doesn't seem like it would be good for you.
Just around the base of the crotch.
Who is the
Gashi
former CIA agent that is running for president now? The guy came out yesterday, but he's got my vote.
CIA? Yeah.
Yeah.
You can keep secrets for what?
Evan McMullen. He's launched his independent presidential bid.
And tell him if he needs a VP, I'm ready to go in.
He looks like a CIA agent.
Let me see.
I think I could be a
Kinda.
CIA agent. I don't fucking give anything away to anybody. Where was he at? And did he have a license to kill?
Let's see.
I asked when I went into the CIA's, I said, could I get a license to kill? And they said, no, but you will have a license to ill.
Oh, that's pretty good.
Beastie style.
They only say he was a former CIA agent, and he was a former chief policy director for the House Republican Conference.
I got news for you. I would never believe anybody if they said they were former CIA. That's exactly what somebody in the CIA would say. Not anymore, though. I'm just a regular Joe. Why don't we take a break here? Coach, would you run over to the microphone and take us to break? And you got to run Spencer Burger style.
Quickly.
We're gonna go on break. This is Bennington.
Tonight, ladies and gentlemen, our young gymnasts will not only go out and hopefully win all the gold, but they also will then unveil their new nickname.
What's that?
Only the 5 of them know.
This is very exciting.
Yeah. I'm hoping it's something that's politically incorrect. The 5 whores.
Right.
Something fun.
Oh, with Spy Girls.
That would work for me. If
Spy
they came out with
Girls?
Spy Girls.
Or what was the other one that they called them? The Powerpuff Girls.
Powerpuff Girls.
Something like that.
Mm.
Also, the ladies' soccer team,
New
6
nickname?
p.m. tonight as well.
Do me a favor and keep me updated in that.
I will.
Do you have the app?
I don't have the app.
Do you,
I'm gonna
Chris?
get the app.
I thought I had the app.
I don't have the app, but if anyone has the app, just text me.
Okay. And
Group
I'll.
text.
What's the name
Put
of
me
the
on
app?
the Dr. Steve group text.
No problem.
And when you said that, I started to second guess myself. Like, what's happening?
You know what? I don't have the app. This is ridiculous.
Do do do.
Look, there you can see it on mine. Look.
Oh my gosh, that's very confusing. Aren't you glad that you didn't say that hard rock Johnny is
You
one?
ill-begotten son of a bitch. I will tell you this. I saw an ad for the new show, Harry, which is being produced by the Stangl brothers, and that ran during the Olympics.
Oh, I didn't see
Harry,
that.
coming September 13th.
I did not know it was going to be just Harry.
That's just the name of it. Harry.
Harry.
I was hoping it would be called Stangl. One thing that the Stangl brothers never told anybody, they are twins.
Really? I just thought they were
Siamese
bros.
twins separated at birth.
Where were they connected at?
Ball sack.
Oh,
The ball
Jesus.
sack. First time in history.
Like, that's probably not a terrible place to be connected to, though.
Any place I think would be terrible.
Yeah, I don't want to be connected to another person.
I think
physically.
back to back would be really difficult.
What about ace to ace? Ace to ace. By the way, the Iggy Azalea ass rumors, you go over the iBang, it's Iggy Azalea accused of getting ass implants.
Yes.
And somebody brought this up the other day. I believe it was when we did the Miss Bum Bum contest. But the question is the ass too big to be real? It's a big ass.
It's a giant ass.
But they are real.
It's
There
a
are
big-
asses that big in the world.
Here's the thing, though. It's a big ass, but there is a lot of hip meat there. And that makes me feel like it could be real. Like when you have a lot of side to side hip, you
Yeah.
know.
Now, the top one looks like a painting by that guy who did the diner painting in Chicago. You know the one I'm
Oh,
talking
yeah.
about? Yeah. All right, let's see the new pictures. I'm being told they're too big to be real. That doesn't look too big to be real.
That's believable.
Plug in. See if there's something you can plug into.
Okay.
Bop, bop,
Because
bop,
when this
bop,
pool picture
bop.
came out is when everyone started saying, all right, she's getting ass implants.
I don't think so.
That's it. To me, that's totally believable.
I think people are just hating on Iggy Azalea. She's a popular target on the internet for people to trash.
There are people that said that the ratio of thin waist to big ass are too much.
Does
I will disagree.
that does look like a painting, though?
Yeah, it
That
does.
pool one. That's really weird. I think it's a good ratio. I think it's pretty sexy.
I think it's a fine one.
Some girls just have the waist thing. Like Zakiya from Big Brother has like the really thin waist.
Oh my God, dude. Can you speak outside of the Mets, Big Brother, or wrestling?
It's hard to.
Not everybody knows Zakiya from Big Brother. And I never even noticed her ass. I thought she was just a thin girl.
No, she is.
I noticed it for the first time on the last HOH competition.
Right, when she was
When
kind
she's-
of
When she was
twirling
standing
about.
up straight and turning around, you could see a nice ass profile shot. She's got a nice ass.
How come that gay boyfriend of hers doesn't care? Not if they're knocking her up.
He's an idiot for letting that one go. She's a catch.
Idiot. She is beautiful.
She is a catch.
Yeah. Her skin.
Beautiful.
Her skin makes me cry.
She floats like a feather.
But I'm a creep. I'm a dude, bro. All right, now they're putting archery on, one of the original sports. By the way, nothing is filled up at any of these matches. Nothing.
Usain Bolt went on Twitter saying, "Hey everybody, there's tickets left. You should be buying them." He was on Twitter actually trying to move tickets. Usain Bolt. He has more things to worry about.
He's maybe the greatest sprinter of all time. Of all time.
World's fastest man.
Oh, I heard some stuff yesterday too about the Hamptons party. That somebody threw a glass of beverage on some other people for not sitting down.
What?
Oh, you know about it?
I heard. I just heard about it. Yeah.
You know who it was?
I just heard that story.
It was Bethany Frankel.
Whoa.
She had the drink thrown on her. Or she did the throwing.
She was chucking because some people wouldn't sit down at a rock show in a bar. Some people were standing in front of the stage.
That's what you're supposed to do.
Like a human. That's what a human being would be. Like, oh my God, I can't believe it's Coldplay. But I also heard that Jay-Z and Beyonce left early because they didn't feel like they had a clear view of the stage either.
Interesting.
And that was a rumor I heard from the winner.
They have to have prime seating.
I guess this was more of like a bar bash fun summertime than a VIP seating thing. And
Right,
they're not
because
used to that.
If your entire audience is VIP.
Yeah, there's no VIP then.
There was
There
no
is
VIP
no-
there. I heard Blue Ivy was there as well, the child.
Maybe it was too loud for her.
Yeah, maybe it was just her Betty time.
Everything I saw about it, Coldplay just acted like they were a bar band. Like they completely embraced the experience of being a bar band.
And not being over the
even
top,
though
just-
the day before they sold out a giant stadium in Philly.
I get the impression that like you can like them or hate them or just like think that their music is, overplayed. I think that they're probably a couple of cool dudes. They seem like nice guys.
Even if they're not cool, I would agree with nice, and I would also say professional. And if you're not the lead singer, you probably could walk right through the parking lot and nobody would bother you.
Yeah.
Like somebody wrote on Twitter, I just saw the guitar player from Coldplay walk by. No one would write that about any famous musician. No one would say, oh my God, I just saw the guitar player from Red Hot Chili Peppers walk by. I saw the guitar player from Van Halen. Edward, I believe his name was. Look at the few people, the empty seats for beach volleyball.
I know. Last night's was better attended. The ladies, maybe
make them free. Let the peasant people of Brazil enjoy this.
They have so little. Just let them watch the game.
I would love to be present at the Olympic Games. I think it would be really exciting.
Well-
Even just like one match.
Well, what would you want to see out of everything? Like you get the one experience for your life.
I think that you've got to go with any of the track. Like any of the tracks.
It's got to be the same Bolt. You got to watch the 100 meters. You're going to see the fastest person on the planet, which is a mind-blowing thing because everybody on the planet doesn't know how to do sports, but everybody has been in a race in their life. There's no one on the planet who doesn't know where they were in their first grade class in terms of being fast. their
Oh, yeah.
second grade class, their third grade class. These are the things that are important to you. That's the fucking version of having a brand new car for a first grader. How fast are you? So you know what it's like to be in a race. And then you just think everyone on the planet, man, woman, and children, and this person is the fastest. Mind blowing.
And it's like that, plus it's one that has been around since the beginning of the concept of Olympics. I think you've got to go with one of those. The
I
classics.
think it's been around since the beginning of human beings. I think the first tribe thought, which one of us is the fastest? You got to get that down.
And then someone's like, okay, yeah, that was your sprint, but I'm good at distance.
Yes, that's the thing.
You're going to be exhausted.
Yeah. And then we're going like, who's really the fastest? But we have to say the pureness of race, which is the explosion.
Yes.
Which is from here to the fence and back.
Yes.
That becomes the 100 meters. That's the purest of them all. I think if you could do anything in your life, it would be win that gold medal. Second best thing to do, find a buried treasure of some sort.
God, yes.
Or an undersea wreck.
That'd be the best. I mean, I think I'd rather do that than win the race.
No, I was going to do both. I
Oh,
was going to
shit.
be the guy like, remember the guy who won the gold medal a couple of years? He just fucking found the Titanic.
What?
Yeah, and it was filled with gold.
Wow. Can't believe they forgot all that gold down in Titanic.
After that, I think you want to be somebody who is shot into space, preferably to the moon, or first man on Mars.
Well, that would be great.
I would, you know how they go one small step for man? This would be my Martian thing. Houston, we have found life on Mars, and it's me. I think that would be a lot better than the one small step for man. One giant leap for man. What the fuck? Wait! Something's sucking me into the moon!
What? Is he okay?
He's gone.
He's fine.
Oh, my God, it's Dan.
Hi, Dan.
Hey, how's everybody doing?
You were supposed to stop in today, and then I heard you were dropping heat.
Is that what
Dropping heat?
Yes, taking a shit, pinching a loaf.
Oh,
Yeah, that happened today, but I don't know if that prevented me from being on the show.
Where you been?
I've been running up and upstairs, downstairs, at a few meetings. I just saw Vito's text, so
Wait,
I ran
hold
here.
on. Why would you be in a meeting for anything? What meeting would you possibly be called into?
Well, Ron,
Loudspeakers?
Ron, I don't know if you know this, but I help run one of the channels here at SiriusXM.
What channel?
Channel 98, Laugh USA, one down in the dial from where we are right now.
How come you can't get me on that fucking channel, dude?
Dude, you want to be on it?
Yes.
Hence, right, you're on.
What would you like the show to be?
Just don't curse.
Oh, no cursing?
No cursing. It's clean comedy.
Me and Gail will do some kind of countdown for you.
I'd love that, honestly.
What can we count down?
Do you have anything that
You do the
needs
full
counting?
spectrum, the history of comedy.
Yeah, we play everything from like Mort Saul and Bob Hope. And,
I got one for you.
Sure.
Me and Gail do a countdown. The top 10 comedy teams of all time.
That sounds great. You want to do it right now, and then we'll.
Here's what I want you to do.
Yeah.
I want you to make sure I get a little cheddar for that. You know what I mean?
A little bit of the, a little bit off the top.
Yeah,
Take a little bit off the.
Let me wet my beak. I'm walking around with a dry beak all day.
Then,
I didn't know that you co-run one of these channels.
Yeah, they actually trusted me with that big task, and I have to thank everyone for letting me let me do that.
Who was the person who wrote off on it? Who signed off?
It was Don.
Really?
Yeah, Don. He's given me some great opportunities at this here place.
Here.
I like the idea of that. Who's the best act that you play on Laugh USA?
Regan's always really popular because there's so much material and it's pretty recent. So Regan and Gaffigan are probably the two heavyweights.
What if we do some kind of Regan versus Gaffigan game?
Oh, that'd be fun.
Yeah.
How do you choose? They're both.
Yeah, I choose Regan.
Really?
Yes, just did. Just chose him.
All right. Well, that's the show's over then. We just spoiled the countdown.
I was enjoying Gaffigan's TV show the other night, and by the way, he is taking his kids to the museum on the next Gaffigan show. Which is that the finale for the year? I want us to figure out the finale of Sex, Drugs, and Rock and Roll because we've got that great coat to give away that the whole cast has signed.
It's a good look.
That is, if Vito didn't already take it home with the other prizes he stole.
It wouldn't fit him.
He's a thief.
It's a T-shirt.
How about you doing stand-up one day, Dan? Have you considered it?
I've never tried stand-up. I've performed, in
fellatio.
So it's basically the same thing. So I think I can handle it.
Now you have a line? Do you have an opening line?
Well, I like to, every time we would do in college, in my college radio station, we do these roasts, right? And my favorite opening line that I had was like, it was something to the effect of like, I'm sweating a lot, and this is why. And I say a really uncomfortable thing. So like right now. So
I'm sweating a lot, and it's because I'm in this roast. That would be your joke.
No, it was something more like, I was making fun of the guy who was like the roasty, saying, I was basically calling him like a creep, and I was like, I'm sweating like Phil at the Kids' Choice Awards.
Oh, okay.
So I thought it was like, okay.
All right.
That's pretty good.
Not the worst thing ever.
I say, so roast battle. You want to do a roast battle?
Yeah, I think that would, yeah. But stand up, it's a tough racket,
How's
I don't
that?
know if you, how is that? You gotta be really like confident in your ideas and jokes, and confidence is, it doesn't always come easy to me.
Really? A guy like you? Yeah, Disco Dan? I mean, the guy who basically brought disco back to this fucking millennium?
And, it's still, after all that disco, it's, there's a hole somewhere, and...
What's your favorite disco song?
The Bee Gees, that one.
Really? What about for you, Chris?
The Freak.
Really?
Yvonne Elliman, If I Can't Have You.
Mine is Disco Lady. Just the same Disco Lady. No, Vito, I'm not asking you. You know why?
Why?
Because you're being reported to HR.
No, I thought we were.
We
over
couldn't
that.
count on you to go with a bit today. That's why I'm not asking you. No, I won't. Don't you know what fucking improv is? It's yes and. Not no but.
And also, I love Keith.
It could be a new kind of improv, though. You just reject, the scene.
Hold on. You're fucking around, Dan, but you might have just hit it. A new kind of improv. Or as I like to call it, improved.
Oh.
Thank you, everybody. I just golfed a 58 today, the first person in history.
Holy shit.
Did you see somebody did that? A 58. No one has ever done it before. And they still didn't win the tournament.
Why didn't they win?
Well, the tournament goes on for a couple of days, so just their last day was a 58. Yeah. The day before that, they had a 77 and 104.
No, I didn't. You're talking about the Olympics, right?
No.
Oh, okay.
What were you going to ask, though?
Well, I haven't really been following it. What's the health situation down there with all the dysentery causing germs?
Well, first of all, it's not dysentery, but that was just
or the Zika.
A weird CIA rumor. Everyone seems to be fine. They're having fun.
They're playing in the water.
Yes, they're riding couches down the river.
Is beach volleyball harder to play than like on a court?
Well, yeah, sand is harder to run in than a court.
I was watching last night, and I think it would be fun to compete in a sport that you could do barefoot.
I didn't even think about that.
Is it race car driving barefoot?
Yeah, and you're like, my foot fell asleep. Remember how that's why they wouldn't let you drive without shoes on? Because they say that the vibration would make your foot fall asleep.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
I remember the first time when I was a little kid that my foot ever fell asleep, and I was attempting to run to my mom. Like, Mom, my leg! And she's like, I remember her screaming, your foot's just asleep! Relax, your foot's just asleep. And I thought there was like pins in my leg.
Yeah, it's fucked up.
I strangely like the sensation of my foot falling asleep. And
I've never heard that before.
I sometimes will dig my feet underneath a person or an object in order to then cut off circulation and get the pins and needles.
When she's saying sometimes, she means every single time she's next to someone, she tries to put her feet underneath them. 100%
subterfuge
of the time.
What?
And we used to say to her when she was little, stop digging. Just stop digging.
I can't stop.
and won't stop.
Whoa.
Why wasn't that song bigger?
I don't know. I wish that it would have stayed popular for years on end.
Why doesn't that
Reign
happen?
supreme.
Why doesn't that happen? Why can't just a song stay number one for 7 years?
7 long years.
Chris, we got anything we need to plug before we get out of here? I got to cut this thing for Laugh USA.
That's coming up. And then also on Friday at 2 p.m. is the Don't Think Twice Unmasked with Mike Birbiglia, Chris Gethard, Kate McCucci, and Gillian Jacobs. It's at 2 p.m. on Raw Dog, right here on the Bennington Show.
Also, tomorrow at 4 p.m. on Deep Tracks Channel 27, you can hear GPS Muscle Shoals replay.
Gillian Jacobs asked me about Vito. He's like, who's that dude? And I go, relax, honey. He's married.
Good.
Why?
I don't think you'd be into her.
I just kept saying how into her I was because of her red bra.
Not her actual looks, just the bra.
That was what got me at first, and then I fell in love with her personality.
She's more than just a bra, Vito.
It's actually
She's a person. You not just a body part, a real person.
If she's a bra, then you're a bro.
Good.
That's cool, bro. You know who our biggest dude bro is here? Disco Den.
Yeah, you think so?
Yeah.
I would like to hear your explanation for that statement.
Well, first of all, because you say cool things like that.
It's very bro. It's very
Seriously,
bro thing to do.
only a robot or someone new to the planet Earth would respond the way you do.
It's kind of C-3PO.
Where would you like me to procure that?
You don't do any voiceover on Laugh USA, do you?
No, but it started with like actually rebuilding the channel, and then we're gonna do some.
You
do
didn't
some more
like the
stuff
way
like
it was
that.
at first?
Well, it was, it hadn't been like changed up in a few years, so it was kind of time to, reset the whole everything.
Rigging the whole goddamn thing up.
Oh, Regan every second of the day.
Who's another good clean comic?
Well, there was this guy. He had a show in the '90s. Jerry something. He's clean, and he's
Seidenfeld?
Yeah, he's got.
It's pronounced Ziegfeld.
He has one CD. One.
Yes, he and Jay Leno did not believe in like selling their material. They think that you just keep doing it. But that's a very good point. I didn't even know he did that because at the end of the show, he's like, I'm getting rid of my material.
Well, right, and there was that whole sketch with them.
With the birds flying into the mirror. You ought to play comedians drinking cars and coffee.
Oh, that show where they.
Geez, that was
sorry,
loud. That
excuse
came
me.
out of nowhere.
Yeah.
You have no monitor.
I think I'm kind of deaf, dude. I think I have like a hearing issue. But no, we don't play comedians in coffee buying vehicles.
So fucking nerdy. Seriously, you do it on purpose.
No, I don't.
Yes,
this
you
is
do.
this is who I. This is no. Do you watch that show? The web series?
Well, we're gonna end it.
Thanks, Dan.
Yeah. Dan, I might have you come in and do an interview show one day, but not today.
That's probably for the
Dan,
best.
what's your favorite song in the whole world?
Song?
Yeah. What's the perfect song?
I mean,
for you?
all right, I'll say like a really easy one that like comes to mind, like a Rolling Stone. And that's like, if you're gonna pick like favorite song, it's one of my favorite songs.
Really?
Yeah, love Dylan.
But it's so interesting that people now he'll pick a song that was written probably almost 30 years before he was born.
Yeah,
There's no one of your own generation that speaks to you, is what I'm trying to point out.
No, I like plenty of newer music. I do really think that they don't make them like that anymore.
That's the newest song you know, like a Rolling Stone.
No, there was that Justin Timberlake is a hot new jam this summer. Ron, I heard it in an Uber the other day.
Yeah, I don't think it works.
Sucks.
Also Happy, it's called.
Yeah, it's a happy ripoff.
Okay.
But what about for you? What would you listen to at your home?
Well,
if I said, hey, Dan, we're just sitting around
Do
here.
you want me to like throw out bands?
No, I want you to tell me a perfect song.
A perfect song from the last like couple years?
Yeah, let's say from the last 20 years.
Okay, perfect
I'm going to give you 20 years.
20 years, all right.
Yeah.
Okay, I like, and this is probably something very predictable, I like Nutrimilk Hotel in the Aeroplane Over the Sea.
No, that's also Gail's favorite album, and Chris's favorite. Vito despises it.
That's not something Vito would like, dude. Vito like jock jams. That's Vito's shit.
I mean, jock jams are great.
Here's what we're going to do. Instead of
on jock jams,
ending the same way that we normally do, we're gonna end with your perfect song today, because it means something to you.
Yes, it does.
It means something deep inside your soul. So I want you to sing it as we're going out today, and we'll see everybody again when there is an aeroplane over the sea. And that was it?
No, I don't remember it ending there, but
what just happened, Chris?
That was the YouTube version.
Oh, suck. By the way, it did add maybe the greatest lyric ever written. Perfect.
Yeah.
It's always what I thought my whole life.
Yeah.
How can we be anything?
It's just weird. It's strange.
I'll say how you can do it with gratitude. We'll see you tomorrow. Bennington.
You've been listening to Bennington on Raw Dog Comedy, Sirius XM 99.